Adelaide.
Showers and 17 today with the 6 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher. The hunt for a missing 4-year-old on a remote sheep property near Yunta continues. Gus disappeared early Saturday evening. Divers yesterday searching dams and water tanks on the property, which is around 60 square kilometres. Police say there is no reason to suspect Gus has been taken from the property by someone. The 3-month surrender period to hand in illegal knives and machetes ends today. More than 3,000 weapons, including 2,612 machetes or swords, have been voluntarily surrendered to police in that time. People in possession of these now banned weapons without an exemption should take them to their nearest police station. It's part of efforts to combat knife crime and increase public safety. The US president is confident he and his Israeli counterpart are close to ending the war in Gaza. Addressing the media at the White House alongside Benjamin Netanyahu, Donald Trump told reporters it is an historic day for peace. His plans include redeveloping the enclave to be overseen by a so-called Board of Peace chaired by the president.
We discussed how to end the war in Gaza, but it's just a part of the bigger picture, which is peace in the Middle East. And let's call it eternal peace in the Middle East.
Hamas is yet to agree to the proposal. Meantime, the US president is also threatening to impose a 100% tariff on all foreign-made movies. He claims US movie making is losing ground to international competition. That could do immeasurable damage to the local film industry. The Reserve Bank is widely expected to keep interest rates on hold when the board hands down its decision this afternoon. The official cash rate likely to stay at 3.6%. Financial analysis group Equifax shows demand for mortgages remains robust despite no rate cut. General Manager Moses Samaha says investors are doing better than first home buyers.
We saw a reduction in first home owner applications in the month of August. What that tells me is more cuts need to happen to encourage first home owners to get back in market.
The rate announcement will be at 2 o'clock this afternoon. The prime suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann has come out of hiding to try and confront a prosecutor who accused him of the toddler's murder. Hannah Sinclair reports.
Christian Bruckner travelled for hours to confront a German prosecutor who claims to have evidence proving Bruckner abducted and killed Maddie McCann. But today the lawyer refused to speak to the convicted criminal. Bruckner has always denied any involvement in the British toddler's disappearance in Portugal in 2007, despite being labelled the prime suspect. The convicted paedophile was released from prison in Germany 2 weeks ago after serving time for raping an elderly woman. Now Bruckner claims he's being hounded by the media. After being freed from prison, Christian Bruckner was put in an apartment but has since been moved by police for his safety after his address was leaked.
And the Simpsons are returning to the big screen. Homer and the family are getting a sequel to their first movie 2 decades ago. It will be released in July 2027. Now turning to 5AA Sport, and it's good morning to Tom Wren.
And a very good morning to you as well, Mel. Let's start with football. Adelaide has met with Melbourne Premiership star Christian Petracca as it looks to deepen its midfield heading into 2026. Petracca is 29 but still has 4 years to run on his current deal with the D's, meaning the Crows would need to orchestrate something to get him to West Lakes. Former skipper Taylor Walker has also arrived home from his holiday and is set to make an announcement on his future before the end of the week. It's understood it's likely he will play on for a 19th season. And Port Adelaide has a new assistant coach with Darren Reeves set to join the club. Reeves has been a huge success at Glenelg, taking the club to back-to-back premierships in 2023 and 24 before taking them to another grand final this season. Well, Cricket Australia is reportedly set to record a loss for the previous financial year, despite a huge home test series against India. News Corp is reporting it lost around $11 million, but is expecting a windfall from this summer's Ashes series. Let's get to soccer. One game in the English Premier League this morning. It's currently all square at 1-1 with about 15 minutes to play between Everton and West Ham. The Toffees took the lead in the first half, but the Hammers hit back in the 65th minute thanks to a cracking finish from Jared Bowen.
Oh, with a strike! It's brilliant! That is what they needed! Jared Bowen gets West Ham level, and in some style too.
Yeah, gorgeous finish that one. Audio thanks to Stan Sport. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast, showers and 17 for your Tuesday. Showers increasing tomorrow, 19. Thursday a shower or two, 17. Friday, 19. Right now it's 12 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
If the kitchen's your studio, Simpsons Pantry wraps and flatbreads are your canvas. Refresh, remix and wrap it up with Simpsons Pantry. You'll be absolutely wrapped.
Simpsons Pantry, absolutely wrapped.
A pedicure should feel good, and at Medipedi it does from the ground up. Medipedi combines the indulgent touch of beauty therapy with the trusted skills of podiatry, creating Adelaide's first medical pedicure. It's a treatment like no other. Your feet expertly cared for by a podiatrist, then pampered by one of Medipedi's trained beauty therapists. Because looking after yourself should feel exquisite right down to your toes. With 4 Adelaide locations, book now at medipediclinics.com.au. Medipedi, feel good from the ground up. 5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Let's talk about Harvey Norman's September sellout. It's on right now. Grab yourself an HP 15S Intel Core i5 laptop. Super hot sellout price, now just $698. Genuine value and great for general use, including email, video calls, any office work, and for students. Or save $500 on the Lenovo Ryzen AI5 laptop with 24 gig of RAM and a 512 gig SSD, slashed to just $998. Gamers, this one's for you. The Acer Nitro V with Intel Core i9 and RTX 4050 graphics is an amazing deal at only $1398. There are more sellout savings in-store and online.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you. It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
Live from Hindmarsh Square, it's 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Jonathan Edwards.
8 minutes after 6, good morning to you and welcome to Tuesday, the 30th of September, the final day of September. Big show on the way. We'll get you across the latest in news headlines breaking as we go to air. Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu releasing a potential peace deal. Also concerns over a potential 100% tariff on films made outside of the US. That's a big story that we will follow this morning, and what that could mean for the Australian film industry. We'll head to the US after 6:30. We'll unpack the latest Optus outage concerns for NDIS providers, and we'll go live to Yunta as the search for a missing 4-year-old continues. Is a rake hike on the cards? Shane Oliver will join us. We'll head to the nation's capital with Phil Curry. And could an illegal tobacco trade be hooking a new generation of smokers? Plus trial by jury breaking at 8 and your chance to win What's My Cheese. But one of the biggest stories breaking across South Australia at the moment is the buzz around Christian Petracca. Also rumours regarding Tex Walker, if he's going to play on or not. So much to play out. But David Penberthy, great to have you back, mate. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Jonno. Great to see you again. Christian Petracca, how exciting is this? Surely. Like, if we could land him. Now, I read last night, there's some rumour that he might be going to the Gold Coast Suns. How is it that a sophisticated Italian-Australian urbanite with an excellent knowledge of and passion for food and wine could be thinking about going to the Gold Coast, where, don't want to sound like a snob, but the idea of going out for a flash meal probably involves hog's breath. I'm not sure if they're even that sophisticated on the Gold Coast. Like Christian Petracca, Adelaide is made for Christian Petracca. You know, the 20-minute city, he could be training at Thebarton, do his drills, do all their circle work, whatever it is they do. And then 20 minutes later, he could be at the Central Market.
Correct.
He could be in there at Marino's buying some salsicce, the Italian sausages. He could be at Lucia's having a panini or a bowl of minestrone. Then he could be heading up to Lower North East Road to Nino's to get the award-winning salami. Like, this city is made for Christian Petracca. He's the consummate food nut.
Or he could go to Cavill Avenue.
Cavill Avenue.
Was it Cavill Ave in the Gold Coast? No, I think I'm pretty sure he'd rather.
I've only been to the Gold Coast once, and it was for the one of those awards we never win. We always make the finals and we never win them. The AUKUS.
The AUKUS. They don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be
We came to the AUKUS once. We had a good time at the AUKUS.
That's going to be what we'd love to hear from everyone this morning. We need your help. Christian Petracca, obviously a 5AA listener, big keen listener to you, David, big fan of food. So 8223 0000, the number to ring. We've got tickets to give away to the Take Me Home Festival. If you could plan a day for Christian Petracca, where are you taking him? Where are you wining, dining, schmoozing him?
Which restaurant? Because there's so many great Italian restaurants to pick from. And let's not just make it all the city ones. When I heard the story yesterday, I was thinking, okay, so if you wanted to go real flash to really try to win him over, the obvious choice is probably Fugazi.
Oh, yes. Amazing food.
Run by the woman Lara who won MasterChef.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Chianti as well on Hutt Street. That's really flash, incredibly good Italian food. They got that private room as well, so if they wanted to take him somewhere discreet. Although, I don't know, I reckon probably if you were going to woo him here, I reckon our man Alex Neil Bull and Jonno will be playing a key role. Because they'd be old mates.
For sure.
So Nibbler would be in the thick of it. They might actually just go to, a mate's, get a bunch of Crows mates together at Alex's house and do it more at the player level. But I think, the way to Christian Petracca's heart is through the food, wine and lifestyle. So
Correct.
If they did end up at Nibbler's house, it'd be, you'd be on the phone to Chanella's straight away.
Without a doubt.
You'd need some of those platters, the antipasti. But I reckon, if you were going to design a full day, I was thinking about this yesterday, I'd take him down to McLaren Vale because there's so many great Italian-inspired wineries down there. I'd do put together a little tour late morning, take him to maybe Matolo, which has got all those great Italian-style wines. Then to that little winery that I've mentioned before, Lino Ramble, that does Sangiovese, it does that Italian white called Grillo. It's just killer wine. And then a winery that was in the news recently, Vigna Bottin, because you know what, that place, excellent Italian-inspired winery on the road between Wollonga and McLaren Vale, just there on Main Road. It was in the news a few weeks ago. It's almost burnt down.
Spoke to the owner yesterday. She's coming on. She's going to tell us exactly what she would put together for Christian Petracca.
Because he's a big meatball guy. They make killer meatballs.
We'd love to hear from you, though. 8223 0000. Where are you taking Christian Petracca? Where are you wining and dining him? Your restaurants, your experiences, iconic South Australian things. I mean, we could throw it out. There's a few other attractions in South Australia. You've got, the Britannia Roundabout, you could pop by the Royal Adelaide Hospital and see, a few ambulances hanging out.
Yeah.
We're happy to take it any way possible. 8223 0000. Tickets to the Take Me Home Festival. Lines available now. Get onto it. We'll be back with news headlines after this.
They say the sequel is never better than the original. But clearly they haven't tried the new McCrispy from Macca's. Or seen enough sequels. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Available after 10:30am.
Get summer ready with TJM. Whether you're hitting the beach or heading off-road, TJM has the latest in four-wheel drive and camping gear to keep your adventure ready. Check out our brand new 270-degree freestanding awning, rooftop tents, camp chairs, fridges and everything else you'll need for the ultimate outdoor setup. Drive with confidence all summer long with TJM's range of bull bars, vehicle protection and premium suspension options, including GVM upgrades. TJM Nailsworth, Ranella and now Mount Gambier.
Since 1963, well before anyone had even dreamed of the NDIS, Astara has been standing alongside people living with disability. Now, they're South Australia's peak body for spinal cord injury, and they support people with all sorts of disabilities right across the state. Adelaide, Mount Gambier, Port Lincoln, Port Pirie and the Riverland. If you want to stay in your home, find somewhere new, get back on the road or feel more connected, ask Astara, because at Astara, you matter. Go to astara.org.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
16 minutes past 6. Good morning to you if you're joining us for the first time. Will Goodings having a week off. Jonno Edwards in the chair. We're taking your calls. 8223 0000. Where are you taking Christian Petracca to get the deal done? David, you've come up with a number of suggestions, but Dave from Albany's called in. Dave, where are you taking Christian Petracca? You don't want him to come, really, but where are you taking him?
Well, what I'd do is I'd take him, good morning, fellas, by the way, I'd take him to Bryce Gibbs' place and have a chat about what the pressure of arriving in Adelaide as a 2 first-round recruit is like, and see what he thinks of that. And then I'd actually take him to Albany Oval, where there's actually a facility built there. Like there's actually something there, not something that will be there one day.
Oh, that's a bit rough.
Oh, the Dave from Albany and charm offensive. I can see it unfolding now. There's a few. He's got a few fellow travellers on the police home care text line. Matt says I'd be taking him to Albany as well. I like this one though from Judy. She makes a good point. She says, you guys need to put more effort into what his wife would prefer. Remember, happy wife, happy life.
Well, she's a lawyer, and we're one of the most...
Plenty of law firms.
And we've got the most murderers in per capita, isn't it, or something like that?
Yeah, plenty of crime to keep.
Yeah.
Busy.
Plenty
Depending on what sort of law she's into.
Correct. The other thing, this time of year, David, it's a busy year in the garden. We mentioned this yesterday, and I saw it across social media across the weekend. It's tomato season. It's your time to get your tomatoes in. And so we realised we had to get the godfather of gardening on, who might also help us get Christian Petracca across the line, being a Crows fan that he is. Michael Keelan, good morning to you. Tell me, where would you take Christian Petracca?
Well, I'd take him to, good morning, boys and listeners. I'd take him to 2 for 2, find a lovely property that's facing north-northeast with a nice area to grow tomatoes. I would then hook him up with Michelangelo AUKUS, take him over the Black Point, go to one of his secret fishing spots, and then down your neck of the woods, Dave, the Victory Hotel for a nice lunch.
Oh yeah, yes. Good spot. Good spot. When you're watching the sun go down off that front bar deck at the Victory, you haven't got a trouble in the world.
We might have to give Justin Reid Michael's number a little bit later.
Hey, Michael, I popped into Bunnings yesterday afternoon, the one in Mile End, and it looked like there'd been a robbery. Like the fruit and veg section, dead set. It was about a quarter empty. Like they said they were getting stocked up again today, but this weekend just gone. It felt like with the heat, it was tomato time in Adelaide, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. The temperature's getting there. Soil temperature moving up. Yeah, I was in a Mitre 10 out at Glyn yesterday. The same thing though. There's and then I rang Living Colour, who grow 90% of the seedlings here in South Australia for our flowers and tomatoes now. And he said they've never had a rush like it. It's been unbelievable. There's about 20 different varieties of tomatoes out there at the moment. You can buy them in either punnets, single pots. Seriously, the flag has gone up. It is tomato planting time.
You're right about the variety. It seems that a lot of the what used to be harder to get tomatoes, like the ones where you'd need to like join the Diggers Club or something like that to get the seeds. Like now, even my local Drakes, they're doing a great job getting in these pallets of seedlings that are only $3.50, but they just go instantly. But they've got beef heart tomatoes, they've got Roma tomatoes, they've got sauce tomatoes. They're in seedling form, so the variety's much better than it has been in the past.
Oh, absolutely. They've even got San Marzano now, which is as you know, the famous Italian tomato. And that one would get Christian across the line too, I reckon.
San Marzano's way to a Melbourne midfielder's heart.
They come from the area where the volcanic soil is, and arguably you'd get most connoisseurs of tomatoes saying that is the best one in the world.
San Marzano's.
Michael, I put mine on. I planted mine on the weekend. Brookie's got it on the live stream. I did my very best to space them out appropriately. But if you had one tip, one advice for novice gardeners, people trying to be, as good as the godfather of gardening like yourself, what would your tip be?
I think the biggest tip, and my dad used to grow them, and we grew up in an Italian area, and you get to know what they do. is when you buy your seedlings, sometimes a little bit crooked, sometimes a bit soft, plant them deeper, almost plant them up to the bottom leaves, get down into the soil or on a pot if that's the way you're going to grow them. And that allows lateral roots to grow on that stem you've planted, and you are guaranteed a very strong, healthy plant. Water them regularly, and remember they need feeding all the time. Don't do spurts, bit of water, bit of fertiliser. Just do it evenly over the 10 to 12 weeks, and you'll get the best tomatoes ever.
That's good advice. I'd never heard that planting tip before. That's a good one, Michael. Michael Keelan, 5AA Weekend Breakfast legend and, of course, host of the Gardening Show. Good on you, mate. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, boys. Have a good one.
Well, you can also text in your photos of your tomatoes on the police home care text line 0448 08 1395. But let's get back to our calls. If you were going to wine and dine Christian Petracca, where would you take him? Let's head out to Grange. Vinny, good morning to you.
G'day, guys. How you going?
Good, mate.
I'll go down Lee Street, the Master Chef Award winner, her restaurant, to Italian. Check the food. I think she's the one, she won the award.
That's Fagazzi.
Go to the best.
Yeah, Fagazzi.
For sure.
Yeah, well said, Vinny.
Yeah.
100%.
Give them the best.
Absolutely.
Let's go to Rob in Clearview. Rob, where are you taking Christian Petracca?
Look, after Dave's showing him through Alberton, I'm volunteering to whip down and whip him round to Super Cheap to get some new tyres and rims so he can continue on his tour.
Rob, please.
That's right. Only been here 12 hours and someone's already stolen the wheels off my hire car.
Oh, incredible.
Guy on Highgate. Oh, sorry.
You go, Dad.
Guy in Highgate says he'd get Callum Hand, great friend who 5AA does the cooking show with Themis. Get Callum Hand involved. Says, can you imagine them doing cooking demos together in the Central Market on a Friday night? It would let Track build his brand with a captive audience. Job done. Absolutely.
Well, he's done that before. He did that during Gather Round, and the crowd was huge.
Yeah, that's right. He did, didn't he?
So he's had the taste for the Central Market.
Mate, I've got to say, I'm impressed with your tomato growing. I didn't know you had a green thumb, Jonno.
Mate.
I got to say, after 10 years of working with Will, nice to be sitting here with someone who's got a fellow interest in plants for a change.
Well,
too.
I like plants, but I like lawn even more, and I've got a little bit of a bone to pick with the Premier about that. He scarified his lawn on the 14th of September. He posted it on social media. Premier, I love you, but you're way too early, mate. How can we trust the Premier to run our state? There he is on the live stream, scarifying his lawn on the 14th of September. Way too early, Premier, way too early.
He's got his own scarifier.
Well, you have to. Lawn care professional.
I haven't got one of them.
Let's turn to news headlines this morning, the 30th of September. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, the search is continuing for a 4-year-old boy who went missing from a remote rural property. It's today entering its 4th day. The last person to see him was his grandmother when he was playing outside on Saturday afternoon. Police and emergency services today will resume the search on a sheep property in the state's mid-north. We understand his name to be August or Gus. It is truly horrific. Here is Superintendent Mark Cyrus speaking yesterday.
There's no suggestion of that. The road here isn't a public thoroughfare. The only people that would travel on this road are station owners or people servicing those areas. So there's nothing to suggest that at all.
Stretching into its 4th day now. Everyone's thoughts and prayers, if you are a religious person, with the family, and we just hope that somehow there is a happy ending to all of this.
Yeah, certainly. We will cross to Yunta after 7 and speak with Hannah Ford for 7 News, and after 8:30 we'll get the very latest from Mark Cyrus, the officer in charge who's leading that search. The biggest news overnight, and the US president is confident his and his Israeli counterpart are close to ending the war in Gaza. Addressing the media at the White House alongside Benjamin Netanyahu, Donald Trump told reporters it's a historic day for peace. His plans include redeveloping the enclave to be overseen by a so-called a board of peace chaired by the president. Here he is speaking a little bit earlier this morning.
We discussed how to end the war in Gaza, but it's just a part of the bigger picture, which is peace in the Middle East. And let's call it eternal peace in the Middle East.
Sorry, I just find there's something innately and unintentionally hysterical about that after what's been happening in Israel and Gaza for the last 2 years now. Like, well, let's just put all that behind us and eternal peace. You can't write eternal peace with a texture on a piece of paper and hold it up for the sign and go, there it is, eternal peace. Next.
Yeah, it's certainly still a lot to play at.
Oh, crikey.
Let's turn to Victoria. And yesterday we mentioned it was Police Remembrance Day. We'll remember those that have made the ultimate sacrifice serving the community. And it's a story that's captivated the nation. But the manhunt for Australia's most wanted fugitive has been scaled back 5 weeks after 2 police officers were gunned down at a rural property. More than 200 police remain in the Victorian High Country searching for Desi Freeman after he allegedly killed those officers. It appears it's going to be scaled back now. It's truly horrific, and it's sad that we can't bring that to a close for the family.
It's bad enough that it's like a needle in a haystack geographically, but then with all the other intel about how good this guy is at living off the land and the fact that he might have already planned this out, had some secret spot. But, you know, the flip side, of course, is that yesterday, the crime in Melbourne at the moment is out of control.
Yeah.
The big story yesterday, 5 youths stole a BMW. They drove it down Burke Street Mall.
Yeah. And there were initial reports that they had machetes as well. I think that's been disproven by police. But
so the cops have got a bit on their plate there, haven't they?
Certainly. I think if you go to Melbourne, I went to Melbourne a couple of weeks ago, you certainly feel a little bit on edge. But, yeah, it's certainly concerning. Luckily, we're here in South Australia where we want Christian Petracca to be and Tom Wren, the ultimate salesman. I'm going to say that Tom Wren brought Live Golf to South Australia, so maybe he can bring Christian Petracca to South Australia, all thanks to unique home-style foods. Rennie, good morning to you.
Morning, Jonno. Morning, Pembo. Yeah, gee, that's the operation now for the Crows, isn't it? Try and get Christian Petracca to the footy club. He'd satisfy a big need for them, big-bodied midfielder, explosive, someone who can find the footy in
so what stops
the big
him?
games.
Is it? Do you think, Tom...
Well, he's got 4 years to run on his deal. And so the Crows have to orchestrate a trade. Well, his management more to the point.
But if he wants it?
If he wants it, that's a huge, tick. But Gold Coast are interested as well, reportedly.
I was going to ask you, Gold Coast.
And they've got a fair bit of capital there. Look, my understanding is Sam Flanders, Bailey Humphrey, Melbourne are very, very interested in getting their hands on those two players. The Crows have got pick 14. They do have, untapped draft capital in terms of 2026 and 27. So they could, get him that way.
Have you got any mail on Neil Bullen and his role?
Well, I mean, I think he'd be in there for sure. And obviously the coach, Matthew Nicks.
Wasn't he really good mates with the guy who just quit to go to Juventus?
Darren Burgess.
Yeah.
Yeah, they worked together, for 2021 during the premiership. So there's that factor. But I think Neil Bullen probably a stronger pull, given their playing teammates. And
Gold Coast and the Crows present a very different lifestyle, don't they?
That's right.
Because the thing about the Gold Coast is you can be Christian Petracca, you can walk from Coolangatta to Mermaid Beach and 1 in 100 people know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Adelaide, Christian Petracca arrives in East End of Rundle Street or, Aldinga Foodland or Windsor Gardens, IGA, everybody knows him.
Well, you saw that yesterday, and he's probably dealing with that going, God, if I'm going to live here, is this the kind of attention? He had 3-4 journalists waiting for him to doorstop him at the airport, and, you're going to deal with that, whereas he goes to Gold Coast. No one cares.
He walked down the boulevard, the esplanade of the Gold Coast wearing a T-shirt that said, I am Christian Petracca, and people go, who's Christian Petracca?
Yeah, exactly. But what would I do, Jonno? I think I would probably take him out for a round of golf out at Tetra Gully and then take him round to Pembo's house for a nice, paella or something. Pembo, you could whip up.
Well, we'll get you, though. You're coming, Tom. You and Jonno can bring some of his tomatoes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, beautiful. Or maybe just take him out to Gaucho's. Nice steak there.
Magnificent.
Joe would look after him.
Yeah, exactly.
Bit of an Italian connection as well.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
But he's a big cook, so, there's lots of good cooking, seen here in Adelaide, so you should be able to get him across the line, shouldn't we?
Oh, hell yeah.
Good on you, Rennie.
But, yeah, look, they're in the hunt, there's no question. And Tex, I expect the decision in the next day or two.
Yeah. Also,
What do you reckon?
I think you play on. Yep, I do. I've heard very confident. I think he'll play on.
Good stuff.
Good on you, Rennie.
Thanks, boys.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 17 today with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher. There are grave concerns for a 4-year-old boy still missing near Yunta after wandering off early Saturday evening. It's believed Gus is still on the sprawling sheep property. Police divers yesterday searching dams and water tanks. Today is your last chance to hand in prohibited knives and machetes before the 3-month amnesty ends. They can be surrendered anonymously at police stations apart from Hindley or Grenfell Street. So far, 3,255 have been handed in, 80% of them machetes or swords. The tough new life laws were introduced in July, targeting both possession and supply of dangerous weapons. Gaza will be redeveloped and the Strip overseen by a so-called Board of Peace chaired by Donald Trump under the US president's plan to end the war. Lauren Tomasi reports.
Donald Trump has unveiled a 20-point plan, so-called Principles of Peace, which the US president says will end the war in Gaza. They include the immediate end to the military operation in the Strip, the return of hostages within 72 hours, along with the redevelopment of the Gaza Strip and a so-called Board of Peace, chaired by Donald Trump to oversee the Gaza governance. While Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has agreed to the framework, it does not get over the line without Hamas also coming to the table. Donald Trump has warned the group that Israel will have full US backing to eliminate the threat if it does not agree.
And Australia's film industry could be in the firing line after Donald Trump announced a 100% tariff for films made outside of the US. More from Claire Todd-Hunter.
When the prospect of these 100% tariffs were first raised earlier this year, our local film industry bodies warned it could devastate the industry here and wipe out thousands of local jobs. That prospect has suddenly become a reality overnight. Donald Trump taking to Truth Social to announce what he says will solve a long-time, never-ending problem of America's movie-making business being stolen by other countries, just like stealing candy from a baby. In Queensland alone, the film industry generates $500 million a year for the state's economy, the Gold Coast in particular considered a world-class Hollywood magnet.
The federal government is being urged to do more to help first home buyers get into the market. The Reserve Bank is likely to keep the official interest rate on hold when the board delivers its decision today. Financial analysis group Equifax says market is favouring property investors. General Manager Moses Samaha says first home buyers are still finding it tough.
I think more needs to be put in place, whether that's addressing the supply challenges that impacts home affordability. And, I'd like to see more interest rate reductions helping that along. But that's unlikely to happen until 2026 right now.
Now turning to 5AA Sport, here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Melbourne star Christian Petracca has flown to Adelaide to meet with the Crows. It's despite the Norm Smith medal winner being contracted with the Demons until the end of 2029. Meantime, Gold Coast is reportedly also interested, though, in the 29-year-old. Meantime, Brisbane Lions midfielder Will Ashcroft has been named the best player of the AFL Finals, receiving the Gary Ayres Award. Well, Alex de Minaur is through to this afternoon's semi-finals at the China Tennis Open, where he'll face top seed Yannick Sinner. De Minaur moved through after being a double break up in the first set. His opponent, Jakub Bencic, forced to retire with a knee injury. The Aussie hopeful he can use the extra time to prepare for his next match.
Had a really tough match in the previous round and now, in the final four, so excited for what's to come. I mean, it's not what you want to see. He's a hell of a competitor, hell of a player, and I'm wishing him a speedy recovery.
Well, the Brisbane Broncos are shrugging off claims they're stuck up in an explosive start to grand final week. Melbourne Storm prop Stefano Utoikamanu made the comment, adding he doesn't like some of the Broncos players. Brisbane enforcer Payne Haas brushed off the comments.
What's that?
He said Brisbane is stuck up.
We're stuck up? Yeah. I don't know. They're not in our four walls, so I don't really care what they say, to be honest, mate. I'm just worried about us, and we'll get our preparation right, and we'll see on Sunday.
I like that. Bring it on. And it's full time in the English Premier League clash between Everton and West Ham this morning. The match finishing in a 1-1 draw. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast, 17 today and showers. Showers increasing tomorrow, 19. Thursday a shower or two, 17. 19 again on Friday. Right now it is 12 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
25 minutes to 7. Good morning to you if you're just joining us for the first time. Top of 17 today, currently 12 degrees in the city. Will Goodings having the week off. Jonno Edwards in the chair. We'll be back next week, and hopefully he'll be back with some good news that maybe Christian Petracca will be coming to South Australia.
Maybe that's where Will's gone. Maybe he's part of the charm offensive.
He's wheeling and dealing. I believe it.
He's doing some black ops for the Adelaide Football Club.
I think his father would be well and truly hoping to do that as well.
Very much so.
Also coming up, we're going to be crossing to the US just now. A truly significant last couple of hours with a potential peace deal taking place with Gaza, Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu and US President Donald Trump. To get the very latest, Rob Scott is in the US. Rob, good morning to you. Tell us how the last few hours have played out.
Yeah, look, significant. Fresh hope for a peace deal in the Middle East. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli PM, meeting Donald Trump in the Oval Office, and he has signed on to the US president's 20-point plan that basically steps through what must happen to end the fighting, which is pretty significant because a couple of days ago, you'll remember Netanyahu was at the United Nations in New York giving a fiery speech where he was basically threatening to finish the job in Gaza. But today he has said he supports Trump's proposal, 20 points, but some of the highlights include an immediate ceasefire, Hamas to release all of the hostages, both dead and alive, within a 72-hour period, Israel to withdraw its troops in phases, and perhaps most interesting, Gaza to be governed in a sort of two-tier arrangement with an international body, which they're going to call the Board of Peace, to be chaired by Donald Trump with involvement from other world leaders, including former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, overseeing a Palestinian committee. Arab nations are also going to be involved in this. They're going to provide troops to handle security for the Strip and its borders while reconstruction is underway. But look, the deal also requires for Hamas to lay down its arms, agree to play no role in Gaza's governance going forward. But the terror group has only just been handed a copy of this text, so it's still studying this. But experts say it basically amounts to a demand from the US President Donald Trump that they have to surrender, because he says if they do not, he would give Israel his full backing to finish the job of destroying Hamas, basically for Netanyahu to do what he has to do.
Doesn't one of the major sort of flaws with this plan, Rob, seem to be the total absence of a single Palestinian person having been involved with it at all? Like, you know, there's not one example from history where an external power has ever solved a problem by just writing dot points on a piece of paper and saying, there you go, do this.
Well, that's right. And that's going to be one of the major sticking points for Hamas, because one of the red lines, I suppose, for Israel was that there can be no future role for the Palestinian Authority or for Hamas in governing that body going forward. And interestingly enough, we saw from Donald Trump today kind of walking back his position from a few months ago when he said he would encourage all Palestinians to leave the Strip because basically it's been destroyed. It's no good for them to live. And now he's saying he would encourage them to stay and help with the reconstruction, that people can come and go as they please. So interesting from that point of view, at least all the Palestinians who live there, who want to be there, won't be turfed out.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, if only it could come true, it'd be terrific. Fingers crossed, it'd put the historic Camp David almost agreement to shame if this one got up. But don't want to sound cynical, but history suggests that it would be an absolute miracle if it worked. Good on you, Rob. Rob Scott there for Channel 7 in the US Bureau. Yeah, still quite a lot to play out. Also with reports of 100% tariffs on foreign-made films, what that could mean for our film industry. We're making some calls on that now, and we will follow up exactly what this could mean. But, David, let's return to our fun of the morning. We're trying to get Christian Petracca here. How are we wheeling and dealing him? 8223 0000. Where are you taking him? Where are you wining and dining him? There's a few on the police home care text line I can see. There's some absolute crackers. People are really putting their minds to it. And I tell you what, all these texts are a wonderful reflection of how lucky we are to have benefited from Italian migration here in South Australia. Because you just think about it, there's so many businesses around town that tell the story. Chris in North Adelaide says, I would set Christian and his wife up in a beautiful North Adelaide return veranda Bluestone Villa, which would be within walking distance of the newly relocated Mercato, the famous Italian food store, which until last Sunday when it closed was on lower northeast road there in Campbelltown. Tina in Newton says she would take Christian Petracca to the Italian festival coming up in November. Great idea. And get him along to Nonna's Cucina at Holden Hill. My tip earlier though, with my southern connections and background, was a wine tour in McLaren Vale, starting at Matolo's, then on to see Andy at Lino Ramble, who makes all the Grillo and the Sangiovese, and then to have lunch at the wonderful Vigna Bottin, the owner of whom is Maria Bottin, and we've got her on the line now. Hey, Maria, I love your restaurant. My wife and I and our kids had lunch there about 6 months ago, and we tucked into your Nonna's meatballs. They are to die for. And we think the vibe of your winery and the simple, unpretentious nature of the food would be the key to Christian Petracca's heart.
Thank you so much. It's so heartwarming, your kind words, and thanks for having me.
So your winery, tell us a bit about the story, because it's only 4 years old, is it not?
It's actually, it's actually coming up 6 years this long weekend. 6 years,
okay.
Yes, yeah.
And you've had a pretty rough time of it lately, haven't you?
Well, it was 5 months in, then COVID hit. So it was a bit of a whirlwind those couple of years to try and get things, our name out there.
Yeah.
But the support of, all the locals and, the few that you've named, and everyone just really supporting each other in the region was just amazing.
Yeah, it's a magnificent region. Now tell us, Maria, you make amazing Italian food. We need to provide something to Christian Petracca to get him here to South Australia. What are you and your chefs whipping up? What are you going to do to get him across the line?
Well, like you guys said, it's simple, humble food. What can I say? Every dish is our favourite and close to our hearts. We say it's comfort food. It's foods that we would have growing up as kids that we were spoilt with, and now we get to share it with the wines that we love to drink. So if I had to start, I'd probably start things off with our arancini paired with a glass of Alfiano just to get his taste buds jumping. But if I really wanted to seal the deal, it would have to be my mum's recipe, polpette.
Oh, yeah.
Nonna Teresa's slow-cooked meatballs in a delicious tomato sauce. And I must say, perfected by Chef Angelo, which before she passed, the pride in her eyes when she tried them for the first time, she knew that she left her legacy in good hands with Chef Angelo. And these I would pair with our Sangiovese. One bite of those and I reckon Petracca would be signing with the crows on the spot.
I tell you what.
And
that
if
is
he
excellent, Maria.
Pasta, even if he likes pasta and a bit of heat, then we'll bring out Chef Angelo's signature dish, the orecchietta calabrese, paired with our nero d'avola, the kind of dish that leaves a lasting impression, just like our beautiful region, McLaren Vale.
That is dead set the best menu, Maria. And I reckon we had those meatballs. They were probably the best meatballs I've ever eaten. They're so light and the tomato sauce is superb. So, we're going to enlist you, Maria, and with a charm offensive like this, I don't see how Christian Petracca can say no.
Matthew Nix, you know where you need to be today. That's all I'll say. Forget anything else. Matthew Nix, McLaren Vale. Well, we had to get our other expert on. Thank you, Maria. That was magnificent. We had to get our other cooking expert, the best in the business, Chris Jarma, Crows fan. He cooks for the Crows. Chris, good morning to you. Tell me, you'd have a few ideas up your sleeve.
Good morning, Jonno and David and listeners. Oh, definitely. Look, I was very excited to hear that he might be coming to the club, and a bit of a fanboy. I do follow his Instagram page, and I did reach out to Nibbler, and he said he'd put me in touch with him if he did come to do some cooking together. So, I didn't get any other intel, so sorry about that. But most of the places have been named, but he does dabble in a bit of Asian cookery as well. So I'd definitely take him down to Guja Street to the Asian grocers, and the Asian grocer down near the club. I tell the boys about that place all the time to go get your Asian essentials. But Ming's for some Peking duck, Star of Siam, and Wahin, definitely.
Yeah, Susanna would look after him.
Look, he obviously comes from a classic Italian family that values family, has great family values. And look, I wouldn't be surprised if you're coming to Adelaide to start a family or wherever he's going to move. You can get anywhere in 20 minutes, like you said before. But, he's a great cook and loves his food.
Well, I reckon I could imagine you on the Instas with him too, Chris. It'd be great. Get him out the back with that big.
And I love the way Maria nailed his name. Petracca.
Petracca, Mamma mia! I tell you what, they don't have on the Gold Coast, Dave, and that is Chris Jarmer's vanilla slice. You can't get that in the Gold Coast.
No.
So I tell you what, Christian Petracca will be needing to head to Chris Jarmer at Jarmer's Kitchen at Bowden. Magnificent restaurant. Good on you, Chris. Appreciate your time this morning. 8223 0000. Where are you whining and dining? Where are you taking Christian Petracca out for a uniquely South Australian experience to get him across the line? But let's check traffic.
Morning there. Roads looking A-OK for the rating today, which is great. We're accident and breakdown free. So that is a good start, isn't it? Simply some works to look out for. You find them at Mawson Lakes, the Salisbury, Humber, Greenfields Drive. Also at Angle Vale this morning, Heaslip Road near Severio Boulevard, and getting a little busy South Road at Glandore for the ongoing tram overpass works. Only running cameras, Barley Terrace, Westlake Shore, and Coventry Road at Davern Park. Prime Big Deal Days is coming with deals exclusively for Prime members. Shop big on deals across kitchen, electronics and more. Prime Big Day deals the 7th to the 13th of October. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
He's got his hoodie up and his head down, scrolling through his feed while strolling across the road. He's testing his luck and his new headphones. Then suddenly, he's testing your brakes too. Stop and take time to ensure your car stops in time and the brakes are all you hit. Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
They say one of life's biggest decisions is buying a home, but sometimes the hardest one is leaving it. At Anglicare SA, we're here to help you stay where you belong. We offer support for everyday things like cleaning, gardening, cooking, but are also experts in care management, allied health, and clinical nursing. Because we believe there is no place like home, and with the right support, there is no reason to leave it. Find out more at Anglicare SA. You are at home.
Tired of scrolling through countless websites to plan your holiday? At locally owned Spark Travel, our travel experts are just a phone call away, eager to hear your needs and craft the perfect getaway tailored just for you. Reach out today for a chat and let's start planning your holiday together. Look for our travel deals in the Sunday Mail. Spark Travel, where your journey begins with a conversation. King William Street, Adelaide. Phone now 88765121, sparktravel.com.au.
At Coles, you can save with great half-price game day snacks, like half-price Doritos or XXL corn chips, 150 to 170 grams, now just $2.50. Shop in store or online at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
11 minutes to 7. Will Goodings having the week off. Jonno Edwards in the chair. He'll be back next week. But the big story this week is the potential top of 29 degrees on Sunday. Jenny Horvat is at the Weather Bureau. Jenny, what can we expect for today?
Yeah, look, so we're in a bit of a broad westerly. There's a little bit of a trough moving up from the west, so showers intermittently across the day. We didn't see too much in the gauge yesterday. The city only picking up 1.6 of a millimetre, but elsewhere across the state we did see 20 millimetres down in the southeast. So a little bit of a mixed bag, and again today just a little bit hit and miss with those showers. We are looking at a top temperature of 17 degrees for the city and suburbs, 15 for Mount Barker. As we roll on into Wednesday, again, we are expecting those intermittent showers. Front pushing up later in the day, enhancing those showers later on Wednesday. Looking at a minimum temperature of around 11 degrees, 19 on the forecast for the day. A bit cooler there on Thursday again. Maybe some showers around in the morning, but should be drying up. As we roll on into Friday, 19 degrees. But as you mentioned, those weekend temperatures are on the rise for the start of the long weekend. Potentially 27 on Saturday and possibly even getting up to 29 on the Sunday there. We'll see how we go with those northerlies, but looking like a dry and warm start to the long weekend there. Looking good for Tomatoes and Christian Petracca if he's around the place. Let's head to SAPOL now. Senior Constable Liam Bennett is on duty. Liam, a car fire overnight at Flinders Park.
Yeah, that's right, lads. About 3 a.m. this morning, police and fire crews responded to a car fire at Frobisher Avenue at Flinders Park. And on arrival, police found the Toyota four-wheel drive well alight, with MFS working quickly to extinguish the blaze. Now, that vehicle sustained significant damage, and the fire is actually being treated as suspicious after police uncovered it was displaying stolen number plates. Investigations into this incident are ongoing, and we just ask anyone with information to come forward to Crime Stoppers online or free call 1800 333 000.
Liam, also, we're going to be chatting later in the show, obviously doing a special segment about the search for young Gus in Yunta. As things stand, though, there's no new update on that at the moment, I understand.
No, so the search has continued through the night. We've had crews out there all night trying to make efforts to locate young Gus, and there's crews out there doing change of shift again this morning to continue that really important search up in the mid-north.
Thank you for that. Senior Constable Liam Bennett, and as I said, we'll be talking later in the program after 8 o'clock with the SAPOL Superintendent Mark Cyrus, who's leading the search effort.
Yeah, he's on the ground. We'll also speak to Hannah Ford after 7, that's been covering it for 7 News. I guess it's really hard to describe how desolate this country is. There is absolutely nothing out there, which is really concerning. Another concerning story, David, is the state of National Disability Services in South Australia and indeed Australia. We saw massive changes to the NDIS scheme. A lot of us happy with that potentially they were reining in those that were taking advantage of it. But it's also seen a significant amount of concern regarding Bedford and the MS Society and a number of other institutions across Australia. Someone that's standing up for it and is raising his concern is Michael Petracca. He's the National Disability Service CEO. Michael, good morning to you and thank you for your time. What's your biggest concern at the moment?
The biggest concern is that the quality providers in the NDIS are under immense financial pressure. So we know that 50% are making losses. We know that the rest are breaking even. We know that they're going through their cash reserves. And when I say quality providers, I'm talking about the providers with decades of experience. They're working with people with really complex support needs. They're in rural areas. They're in remote areas. They've got good quality systems. And they're the ones who are doing it toughest because there is a one-size-fits-all approach to pricing, which essentially means that you get paid the same price for supporting someone with really complex support needs, really complex disabilities in a home, as you do taking someone for shopping. And that's not to say that taking someone shopping is a bad thing, but it costs less. So those organisations that are doing the really heavy lifting are the ones that are doing it toughest. And as you mentioned, we've seen that with Bedford. We've seen it with the MS Society last week. We've seen it in other states, and we're concerned that we will continue to see it if there isn't reform. And one of the things that's putting more pressure on organisations in South Australia is the introduction of the Portable Long Service Leave scheme. And, we're very concerned that that's going to put even more pressure on organisations and cause more disruption.
So what's the fix, Michael? I must admit, I struggle to wrap my head around how all of this intersects. It seems to be a fiendishly complicated policy challenge. I just don't get it. So what needs to change?
I think that the first thing that I don't think people realise is there's 260,000 providers in the NDIS now, and only 16,000 of those are registered, so about 6%.
Hang on, did you say 260,000?
Yeah, it's kind of unbelievable.
Quarter of a million?
Yeah.
And can you just, sorry to be, I'm not trying to be pedantic, but when you say provider, what's that mean? Can a provider be one individual?
It could also be an individual, yes.
Right.
Yes, it can be an individual, and it can range from very large organisations. But at the moment, registration is voluntary. So there is really only oversight of about 6% of providers, and there is significant cost to registration and regulation and opening yourself up to audits. And so we're seeing a lot of pressure on those organisations because there's one price. So if you're a sole trader and you're performing, disability work through the scheme, you get paid the same price as I said, an organisation that is, maybe has a home for people with really complex, physical disabilities. So we think there are a few things that can be done. The first one is that you need independent pricing, and you need different prices because of the different complexity of the work. We think that that's done in healthcare, it's done in aged care. There's no reason why it can't be done.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Something needs to be done for sure. Michael Petracca, the CEO of the National Disability Services, and Jonno, just to round things out, some great lateral thought. John and Glenelg on the Petracca ideas has this one. Just take him straight to the Italian stallion Mark Ricciuto's house. Surely he can get him across the line. But this one here from Andrew, I reckon take Petracca to La Trattoria. Has to be one of the most famous restaurants of many famous sports people. Remember the Formula One days with whole teams eating there?
Yeah,
certainly. I've still got all the photos up on the wall.
8223 0000, the number to ring. We want to hear from you. Where would you take Christian Petracca? Where would you dine him? Where would you take him for a uniquely South Australian experience? It doesn't just have to be food and wine, David. You could show him the Moores Balls, take him down to Henley, Mount Lofty Summit, anything uniquely South Australian, to Britannia Roundabout. Probably hasn't seen a Stobie pole before because no one understands what they are. He is coming from Melbourne that does have hook turns, which make no sense, so maybe he will understand the Britannia Roundabout, but still plenty coming up. And it is your chance to win 2 tickets to the Take Me Home Festival, a brand new festival of country and western music and lifestyle, Sunday, October 12 at Pirate Life Brewing at Port Adelaide. A magnificent place. Tickets from gaentertainment.com.au plus $100 beer and merch pack from Pirate Life.
That's good.
That might get Christian across the line. News time now. After the news, we'll head straight to Yunta for the very latest on this truly horrific search.
With hoodie up and head down, he's crossing the road, testing his new headphones. And then he's testing your brakes too. Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
The Kia Tasman reviews from car expert are in.
Wow, that is impressive. It basically just crawled out of that with no issues at all.
The Tasman has even been tested at South Australia's famed testing facility, The Bend. So are you ready to test a Tasman for yourself? Tasman, the best ute you've never driven.
This is seriously cool. Very nice.
Visit your local Kia dealer now for a test drive.
Kia, movement that inspires. Here at FIVEAA, we're all about supporting local. Head to the Excelsior Hotel, where kids eat free every weekend. The Excelsior Hotel, 110 Coghlan Street, Brompton. Feels like coming home, but better.
Imagine a backyard filled with lush green turf. At one end, a set of cricket stumps. Right now, it's just a backyard. But to your kids and their friends, it's an oval, a stadium, and they can be heroes. Kids love a great patch of grass, and you can appreciate yours every day when you lay lawn in your garden from the Turf Farm. The Turf Farm plant it, nurture it, harvest it, deliver it, and importantly, they guarantee it. Trust the Turf Farm. Go to theturffarm.com.au.
FIVEAA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to FIVEAA on Facebook or YouTube.
Local news and information first. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 17 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher. It's been another long night in the search for missing 4-year-old Gus in the state's mid-north. He wandered off on a remote sheep property near Yunta around 5 p.m. on Saturday. Police divers yesterday searching dams and water tanks. The property is around 60 square kilometres. A stolen car has been torched at Flinders Park. Senior Constable Liam Bennett says it was reported on fire on Frobisher Avenue around 3 a.m.
And on arrival, police found the Toyota four-wheel drive well alight, with MFS working quickly to extinguish the blaze. Now, that vehicle sustained significant damage, and the fire is actually being treated as suspicious after police uncovered it was displaying stolen number plates.
The US president is confident he and his Israeli counterpart are close to ending the war in Gaza. Addressing the media at the White House alongside Benjamin Netanyahu, Donald Trump told reporters it's an historic day for peace. His plans include redeveloping the enclave to be overseen by a so-called Board of Peace chaired by the president.
We discussed how to end the war in Gaza, but it's just a part of the bigger picture, which is peace in the Middle East. And let's call it eternal peace in the Middle East.
Hamas is yet to agree to the proposal. The return of Harvest Rock this year is striking a chord with music fans. It will be staged in the East Parklands the last weekend in October. Tourism Minister Zoe Bettison says there's plenty of demand for tickets, with 30% of sales coming from interstate.
We're getting some great news when we're looking at the forward booking of hotel occupancy. On the Saturday, the occupancy is 70%. Which is fantastic. And we're seeing really strong single-day tickets on the Saturday, sold out already.
A warning's been issued for melatonin products given to children. More from Gabrielle Hodson.
The Therapeutic Goods Administration has tested the amount of melatonin in sleep supplements entering the country after fears many parents are bypassing the prescription system, giving unregistered products to their children. News Corp says 8 of the products had significantly more melatonin than stated on the label. In one case, it was 417% more. 3 of the products had less than indicated, with one containing none at all. The TGA says the wild variations are dangerous and could worsen existing problems with seizures or lead to overdoses. They've issued an alert telling Australian Border Force to destroy incoming melatonin products.
SA has been a big winner at Australia's Wine List of the Year awards. McLaren Vale's The Salopian Inn taking out 2 gongs, Best Wine List South Australia and Australia's best listing of a single region's wines. Botanic, Hardy's Veranda Restaurant at Mount Lofty and A Prayer for the Wild at Heart in Hurtle Square also recognised. Now turning to 5AA Sport, it's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Adelaide is doing its best to get its hands on a star midfielder, with Christian Petracca meeting with club officials. The Crows currently have pick 14 but are likely to have to offer at least another future first-round selection and perhaps even a player. Gold Coast are also understood to be interested. Brisbane, meantime, gets to celebrate their all-conquering Lions today. Monique Jews has more.
Brisbane City Council says it's fast-tracked a celebration for Brisbane's victorious AFL team. A reception will be held at Queen's Gardens at 144 George Street from midday, with fans able to hear from Lions players after their epic win over the Cats in Melbourne. The team dominated Geelong 122-75 on Saturday in a back-to-back premiership win, making them one of the most successful sides this century. Lord Mayor Adrian Schrinner says it's no wonder Brisbane was crowned Australia's top sports city earlier this month.
New West Ham manager and former Nottingham Forest boss Nuno Espirito Santo has grabbed a point in his first match at his new club as the Hammers played out a 1-1 draw against Everton. Despite the result, West Ham remains in the relegation zone. And Paralympic champion James Turner has won gold at the World Para-Athletics Championships, taking out the 400 metres T36. Wheelchair racer Reid McCracken has taken out silver. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there, roads are looking okay for the running today. We'll have some breakdown free, so that is a good start. Now, a bit of heavy traffic at the moment, the Northern Expressway driving inbound through Andrews Farm and McDonald Park. We'll keep an eye on that for you this morning. Works at Petracca to look out for. Main North Road near Research Road and getting busy South Road at Karata Park near Anzac Highway for those ongoing South Road works. Cameras today, Crittenden Road, Findon and Eastern Parade at Gilman. The Big Points Blitz is back this week at Woolworths. Double your everyday rewards points on every shop, in-store or online at Woolworths. Hurry, offer ends today. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, 17 and showers today. Showers increasing tomorrow, 19. Thursday, a shower or 2, 17. Friday, 19. Right now, it is 14 degrees on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Stay informed, get involved.
5AA. Always Adelaide.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
7:05. Good morning to you. If you are joining us for the first time, the sun just peeking through here at Hindmarsh Square.
Beautiful morning.
It certainly will be. Looking at a top of 17 at the moment, but the rest of the week looking good. A top of 29 on Sunday. So much happening on the show. After 8, we're going to be discussing the latest Optus outage, the tobacco war, where to go from here, and the very latest from Yunta with Superintendent Mark Sirris, the officer in charge of the search. We've been asking for your calls this morning on 8223 0000. Where would you wine and dine Christian Petracca? Where would you take him to get him across the line? We want to hear from you. 8223 0000, the number to ring. But as I mentioned, David, the desperate search for a missing 4-year-old boy near Yunta is set to enter its 4th day today. Gus Lamont was last seen on Saturday evening playing in the front yard of his grandparents' remote property before disappearing without a trace. The search is unfolding in what can only be described as truly desolate outback country that's making the task even more difficult. Let's now cross live to Yunta for the latest. Hannah Ford is on the ground for 7 News. Hannah, good morning. Give us a sense of, I guess, how remote this search is.
Probably one of the most remote parts of South Australia I've been to. I mean, getting into the property itself, it's a long dirt road, which is about 50 k's, and I think there's a gate every few k's that you have to open and get through. And then once you're there, all you can see is just land, like scrubland for kilometres. It's 60 square kilometres, this property alone. And I couldn't help but feel just helpless yesterday when you looked around and just wondering where this poor little boy is. I guess from being not a local, when you look around, it looks like almost flat, the ground. But when I've spoken to locals and their knowledge of the area, there is a lot of like hidden peaks and troughs. It's very undulating. There's lots of drops. There are a lot of places that this little boy could be. And thankfully the temperature was mild overnight again. So I've spoken to police this morning, and they haven't. The police infrared chopper was out again last night, and there is no update yet. But they're mobilising again very soon. We will see those volunteers start lining the property again.
So Hannah, the property itself, 60 square kilometres, so sort of like 10 k's by 6 k's, making it the size of probably 5 suburbs. Here in Adelaide, no, probably more than that. Hard to sort of conceptualise the vastness of it. What is the actual search area? Are they searching the entire property, or are they searching within the centre of it? Because presumably wouldn't have wandered that far away.
Yeah, the assumption is that he hasn't got as far as that, but yes, it's so expansive, and they will. I'm assuming they will search all of that if it gets to that. But at the moment, they're focusing on like sort of a 3-kilometre radius around that homestead, where little Gus was last seen playing and stand in the front of that homestead. And they'll focus on that, and they're still focusing on that at the moment. But if they find nothing, then that is when they will start reaching out further. There is so many locals that are helping as well, which is just it's heartening to see everyone up. I know one person who is a friend of the family who hasn't even told them that he's here, but he's come all the way from Clare, just heard the news and just made his way down, and he's just got his motorbike and he's just doing circles and laps of this property, just looking up under every rock, under every bush, just doing what he can to see if he can help find this little boy.
Well, we hope it has a happy ending, this story, Hannah. It's pretty desperate heading into the 4th day, so fingers crossed this all resolves itself and we get the world's best news story at the end of it. Hannah Ford in Yunta for 7 News Adelaide. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, truly horrific story, and I do reiterate this morning after 8:30 we will hear from the officer in charge of the search, Mark Sirris. So don't miss that for the very latest. What we also don't want to miss is Christian Petracca, and we're trying to bring him here to South Australia. I know he is a big 5AA listener, I'm sure, a big fan of you, David, and probably your food once you cook it for him one day.
Yeah, right.
Mark from Largs Bay has called in. Mark, how are you getting Christian Petracca across the line?
Yeah, well, good morning. Good morning, boys. I don't want to put a negative spin on this because I think he'd be a great acquisition of your footy club, but one place you wouldn't take him would be Jetty Road Glenelg, because when sees the wheels fall off in South Australia, well, it's a good indication of what happens down there, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, Mark. Maybe you can flip it around and say Jetty Road might be the perfect place to take him, because if we actually got him to Jetty Road, he might not be able to find his way out. He might just get stuck in Adelaide.
Yeah.
You take him to a famous barbecue place down there, but once you go a bit further down there, you go, oh, my God.
Yeah, that's right. Stuck at Collie Reserve for the next 4 years.
Yeah, good call. Barbecue City, that's an option. Great Barbecue City. Barbecue Inn, rather.
Barbecue Inn.
Magnificent.
Barbecue City goes all right too.
That's
the
in
Chinese
the city,
joint,
yes.
Ridge Street.
Yes, magnificent. We're just going to talk food all
for
week,
a whole
aren't we?
duck. Absolutely.
The other big story today, David, with inflation still running hot and unemployment hovering near record lows, all eyes are on the Reserve Bank's rate call today. After cutting the cash rate 3 times already this year, there's a bit of mixed news. Some people and some economists predicting potentially a raise or to interest rates, others to hold steady. I haven't heard much conversation regarding a drop, but let's pull it apart with our man on the ground, Dr. Shane Oliver, AMP's chief economist. Shane, good morning to you. What's your prediction?
We think the Reserve will leave rates on hold. Even whatever you think about inflation and unemployment, the Reserve Bank has had a pattern this year of cutting in February, then holding at the next meeting in March, and of course that's continued through the year. We've got 3 cuts, but the in-between meetings they leave rates on hold, and I think this is an in-between meeting. They did cut in August. I think this time around they'll leave rates on hold. But you are right, there are some concerns about inflation picking up. The Reserve Bank will probably make reference to that, and they'll probably also indicate that the unemployment rate remains pretty low. So against that backdrop, they're happy to leave rates on hold at present.
What about the figures that came out yesterday from Federal Treasury, Shane? The fact that government spending is at a 40-year high outside of COVID, does that figure in the Reserve Bank's thinking at all?
It does. They often don't mention it because they're worried that it might get them in trouble with their political masters down in Canberra.
Yeah.
But I think it does, because we have seen that record growth in spending. I think federal government spending was up something like 8%. If you strip out the impact of inflation, it's still up something like 5.5%. So that's the federal government going on a spending bender, even though the Reserve has been wanting us to cut back a little bit over the last few years, hasn't helped. I reckon if we hadn't had all that spending out of Canberra, then we probably would have seen more interest rate cuts by now. In other words, rates would be a lot lower. So that has made life tougher for them.
100%. And, I saw Stephen Koukoulas made similar comments saying, like, we need to be erring on the side of fiscal caution, because if this continues, it's going to make the environment for future rate cuts even more undesirable.
That's right. Look, I mean, the good news is that the government in Canberra has had a bit of luck. We've had we've had high commodity prices. They were thinking the iron ore price would fall to $65 a tonne. It's currently around $100 a tonne. That means more revenue going into the big miners, and they pay more tax. We've also seen a stronger jobs market. Unemployment has been lower. We've had stronger population growth with high immigration levels, and all of those things have meant more money flowing into Canberra. So that's why they've been able to have a couple of years of surpluses. And, of course, the budget deficit was $10 billion in the last financial year, not $27 billion they predicted back in March. But it is getting worse again, and I think it is a concern. I think we should be aiming to have much bigger surpluses. If the economy is doing roughly okay, they should be running much bigger surpluses. They shouldn't be spending as much as they have. And that would mean a bunch of things. It would have meant less pressure on interest rates. They could have had lower interest rates by now. And, of course, it also means more money is put aside for a rainy day. By saving money, by paying down your budget deficit or your debt, you're actually putting money aside for a rainy day. And we haven't been doing that enough. We've had this very modest surpluses, but it hasn't paid down the debt we built up through the pandemic. So that, to me, remains a concern, and I think it's a lost opportunity for the government, unfortunately.
Yeah, and probably exacerbated by the behaviour of state governments too, where post-COVID they seem to have all be now shrugging their shoulders going, oh, well, you know, debt's just part of life. Shane Oliver, Dr. Shane Oliver, the Chief Economist with AMP, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, David, the text line, the police home care text line, absolutely running hot with suggestions on where to take Christian Petracca to wine and dine him. This one from Paul in Theberton. He said, I'll make him the best espresso ever at my house, and then I'll take him to Italian Heritage Night at the Port Adelaide Football Club run by Dom Cassisi. I don't know if that's going to get him on board to the Crows, though, is he?
maybe that's part of Dave from Alberton's secret plan as well. Dave kindly just texted me on my own phone earlier saying this. Today's the day, Dave, September 30, 2017. What might that be the anniversary of? Nothing I want to be reminded of. Thank you very much, Dave.
No power stances here today. Here, there is none. Our poor boss would be quivering.
The power stance,
crikey. God. Hey, let's check traffic and we'll be back with more after this.
Morning there. A couple of bingos to look out for this morning. One at Torrensville, car v truck. That's debris on the road there too. Henley Beach Road near West Street. Penfield, a smash in the Northern Expressway near Penfield Road. Seeing delays inbound through there and getting busy at Salisbury East for Works Bridge Road near Melville Road. Cameras, Goodman Road, Elizabeth and Port Road at Queenstown. Prime Big Day Deals is coming with deals exclusively for Prime members. Shop big on deals across kitchen, electronics and more. Prime Big Day Deals the 7th to the 13th of October. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Graham Goodings.
Questions have emerged over the state government's claim that the 2023 Murray River floods were a key factor behind the devastating algal bloom. The government has pointed to the flood, alongside a marine heat wave, as one of 3 extraordinary environmental events that triggered the bloom.
Graham Goodings.
Luke Mosley has told a Senate inquiry that evidence linking the flood to the bloom is weak.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Discover real style, real expression and real inspiration this spring with Choices Flooring's Style Without Limit sale. Download the catalogue at choicesflooring.com or visit your local showroom today.
It's RSPCA's Give to Get Them Home appeal this Thursday. All donations will be automatically doubled thanks to their generous matching partners. Your donation will help care for SA's most vulnerable animals. $10 becomes $20, $50 becomes $100. Donate at rspcagivingday.com/SA this Thursday. RSPCA's Give to Get Them Home appeal. Every dollar helps, especially when it's doubled.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Let's talk about Harvey Norman's September sellout. It's on right now. Grab yourself an HP 15S Intel Core i5 laptop. Super hot sellout price, now just $698. Genuine value and great for general use, including email, video calls, any office work, and for students. Or save $500 on the Lenovo Ryzen AI5 laptop with 24 gig of RAM and a 512 gig SSD, slashed to just $998. Gamers, this one's for you. The Acer Nitro V with Intel Core i9 and RTX 4050 graphics is an amazing deal at only $1398. There are more sellout savings in-store and online.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
These school holidays, head to AFL Max where you can party, play and learn. Inflatables, bouldering, footy fun and more. There's something for everyone. Book your holiday fun now at aflmax.com.au.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7:20. Good morning to you if you're joining us for the first time this morning. Will Goodings enjoying school holidays off with his lovely wife and daughter. I think up to Queensland, so good on him. So Jonno Edwards sitting in the chair with David.
Doing a great job too, Jonno.
Oh, thanks, mate. I'm on the pots and pans. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, David, a big story this week, being school holidays and, of course, a long weekend this weekend. I know you'll be heading down to Aldinga, but there's growing attention on potentially how the state government is communicating the health and safety advice regarding the algal bloom. Some families, tourists and locals have found the official website difficult to navigate. Sarah Hanson, the Greens Senator, in her inquiry, noting that the advice can be hard to understand, where is safe to swim, where is safe to be on the beach. And the state's opposition is calling for clearer updates to make it easier to understand whether you want to go to Aldinga, whether or not you want to head across to the Yorke Peninsula, what is safe to do on the beaches, as well as where is the best place to go. Now, we want to support our local communities. We want to support our local pubs, but I think we also want to look after our health and our children's health, particularly those that may be living with asthma or medical conditions. David Basham is the Shadow Minister for Environment. David, you've been quite critical of the way this website's been set up and exactly the way the communication from SA Health has been coming.
Oh, very much so, and it's been really quite disappointing. Only last week I had looked on the website and went to the affected areas, and there was a list of beaches there that went from literally Ceduna right through to Kingston in the southeast, covers 85% of South Australia's coastline, just in the list that they had there. Which was just outrageous. Many of those beaches had never been affected. Many of those beaches had been affected in the past and gone. Since putting it up on social media and bringing it to people's attention, the government's taken down all those beaches, and now there's nothing up there saying what's affected. So people are now just guessing where they should be going, what they should be doing. To me, it needs a daily update on what beach conditions are, whether it be a simple thing with traffic light system. Green light, beaches are fine to go to. Orange, there's a bit of bloom around. Red, there's lots of foam around. Maybe stay away. That sort of approach would make it simple for people to know.
So would you do it for every beach, David? Like, do you think that every beach in South Australia, there should be something maybe working with like the local life-saving club, if indeed there is one, because some of the beaches are remote and don't have an SLSC, but should it be every beach?
Very much so. I think it should be beaches that people want to go to, definitely. Challenging, yes, for some beaches that are more remote, etc. But there are many beaches that there are people out all the time. The other thing that I'd like to see them tap into is that a lot of the surfing beaches, for example, have surf cams set up and have paywalls to actually get access to those. Well, why doesn't the government actually go to these companies and buy access to the paywalls for a period of time to allow people to actually see what's going on those beaches themselves? There are things out there people could be doing to be able to actually reassure themselves, but they don't have the tools, and the governments there should be giving those tools to them. We're calling for those updates. They need to actually pull their finger out and actually get on with it.
Is there a little bit of a nanny state thing with this though? I mean, can't we as sentient beings use our judgment a bit? Like if the water smells and it's foamy and looks like what we've seen at Henley Beach, don't go in, obviously. But Jonno mentioned Aldinga. I got to say, most of the time I've seen Aldinga, I've seen dead stingrays a couple of times at Aldinga, but the actual beach itself looks nothing like the foamy suburban beaches. There's no smell down there either. Well, there hasn't been the last few weekends I've been down there. So isn't some of it just use your common sense?
Oh, very much so. But I guess the concern I have is people are actually making the choice to even go. Particularly down here, Victor Harbour through to Goolwa, people are having to spend an hour and a half in a car to come down. They might just choose not to come because they don't know. Whereas if there was something just giving an indication, basically there's been no bloom around here for months. There's little patches every now and again, but basically nothing. I'd encourage people to come, but people need to have the confidence. And, the website's not giving them that confidence. Yeah,
no, the more information, the better is always a good rule to abide by. David Basham, the Shadow Environment Minister there, thank you.
I think this weekend is going to be a big test. 29 degrees on Sunday. Nippers, surf lifesaving won't be too far away. I think a lot of people will be questioning what the right thing is to do, and I don't know if we have the answer to that.
Well, I think part of the problem with the idea of having some sort of system like every beach, red light, green light, is the bloom can move. Like it's a dynamic living thing. So it might be on one beach one day and then the other day it might have decided to wander off in a different direction. So would need constant monitoring, although maybe, having the cameras and so on might help. But even a visual might not necessarily give you enough insight into what's actually going on. But I don't know. I mean, I think you're in much more trouble with this thing if you happen to be a small bivalve or bait fish or a bottom-dwelling flatty or stingray than if you're an actual upright human.
Yeah.
Not being blasé about people with respiratory issues, asthma, kids with breathing difficulties, older people with breathing difficulties, anybody with breathing difficulties. But for the rest of us, you can sort of use your judgment a bit, can't you?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I'm a bit slapdash when it comes to these sorts of things.
Looks all right.
Ocean's the ocean. Fingers crossed, hopefully.
Should be right. What could go wrong?
Exactly.
Hey, what we're trying to get done here this morning, David, is we are trying to get Christian Petracca across the line. I think it's the only way we're going to be able to get Will back from Queensland and back into the studio is if there's some good news for the Crows. So 8223 0000, we've been asking you, where would you wine and dine? Where would you take Christian Petracca? You could take him to the Glenelg Golf Course. Of course, the Golf Day, FIVEAA Golf Day coming up. Quinton's called in. I have a slight feeling here that Quinton maybe won't want Christian Petracca to come to the Crows. Quinton, good morning.
Jonno, Davo, the only thing that Petracca's going to be looking at in Adelaide is the away change rooms at Adelaide Oval. He's going to land in bloody the Gold Coast. He's got Rowley up there, the Brownlow medalist. Up there, those two together in the midfield, Ando coming off the bench. Oh, how good's it going to be? And the only thing missing up on the Gold Coast for Petracca would be Pirate Life Brewery down in Port Adelaide.
Oh, mate, dream on. Our resident Gold Coast Suns fan. What about that? Good on you, Quentin. Fantastic. Hey, like this one here. Someone's responded, no name given, but it's an excellent text, so I'll definitely read it out. Pointing out Dave from Alberton. How is Dave going after yesterday, given that it was the 17th anniversary of the 2007 Grand Final? So there you go. There's a game to remember.
360 feedback. Appreciate that.
That's right.
Hey, I mentioned the FIVEAA Golf Day and it returns for 2025, partnering with Phil Hoffman Travel, featuring your favourite FIVEAA presenters. David, you'll be swinging off the tee. I know, some sporting legends.
Straight into the car park.
Cornsey will be there. It's his home club as well.
Straight into the lumberyard.
Yeah, well, we can't be good at everything, David.
No, certainly not.
It will be
demonstrably.
Yeah, I know. Horrible sport.
We play Ambrose there, don't we?
Yeah, so it's great.
So longest hit.
If you're a hack like me, it's great because you feel great.
And if you get one or two during the day, it's like, what about on par on that hole 4? I got it the longest, and then didn't get it the longest again for the entire day. But at least you did it once, and that's enough to make you keep playing golf.
If you just get one strong tee off, that's all right. I'm happy with that.
Oh,
that's the day done. I mean, the rest of the day searching for my ball and the reeds and water and the rest of it, I could leave it. But you can still have a few beers on the course. It's going to be a magnificent day. And the best thing is you can be joining us for your chance to win. Head to fiveaa.com.au and register now. Then we can be calling you this Friday. So you need to do it ASAP. Don't miss out. It's all thanks to Phil Hoffman Travel, creating moments you'll never forget. Visit pht.com.au for hundreds of exclusive deals. News time now, David. We'll be back very shortly.
Did you know that over 1 million Australians live with type 2 diabetes? That's why CMAX Clinical Research is conducting a clinical trial involving a new potential treatment for this condition. If you're aged 18 to 65 and generally healthy, you could be eligible to participate. You'll spend a total of 6 nights at CMAX on 2 occasions, attend 1 visit and get paid for your time. Interested in taking part? Register your details at cmax.com.au. That's cmax.com.au.
Is your outdoor area living up to its potential? If not, speak to Luba House and transform your outdoor area with an opening and closing roof that's ready for next summer. An SA family-owned business, Luba House do everything. Planning, design, council approvals, local manufacturing and installation, so you'll have peace of mind it's done right. Don't wait any longer. Find out more with a free design, measure and quote. Bring your outdoor area to life with Luba House. lubahouse.com.au.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 17 today with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher. The hunt for a missing 4-year-old on a remote sheep property near Yunta continues. Gus disappeared early Saturday evening. Hannah Ford from 7 News is there.
At the moment, they're focusing on a sort of a 3-kilometre radius around that homestead, where little Gus was last seen playing paint and stand in the front of that homestead. But if they find nothing, then that is when they will start reaching out further.
Divers yesterday searching dams and water tanks on the property, which is around 60 square kilometres. The 3-month surrender period to hand in illegal knives and machetes ends today. More than 3,000 weapons, including 2,612 machetes or swords, have been voluntarily surrendered to police in that time. People in possession of these now banned weapons without an exemption should take them to their nearest police station. It's part of efforts to combat knife crime and increase public safety. Israel has agreed to a 20-point plan to end the war in Gaza. The proposal has been created during White House talks between Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and US President Donald Trump. Mr. Netanyahu says the plan will achieve his country's war aims.
It will bring back to Israel all our hostages, dismantle Hamas's military capabilities, end its political rule, and ensure that Gaza never again poses a threat to Israel.
The Israeli PM has warned Hamas to agree to the terms or his military will finish the job. And the US president is also threatening to impose a 100% tariff on all foreign-made movies. He claims US movie making is losing ground to international competition. That could do immeasurable damage to the local film industry. The Communications Minister is vowing to lay down the law during talks with Optus's parent company. Annika Wells will meet with Singtel's chief executive following multiple 000 outages. Fellow frontbencher Murray Watt says Optus will be held to account.
Escalating that now to the parent company demonstrates how seriously we are taking this, and it will give the Minister the opportunity to make very clear what our expectations are and what all Australians' expectations are.
And breaking news out of the US this morning, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have separated. The actress and singer married in June 2006 and have 2 teenage daughters. Now turning to 5AA Sport with Tom Wren.
Oh, it's a bit sad, isn't it? We
Yeah.
like Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman.
Yes, we do.
Anyway, let's move on to some football, Mel. Adelaide's in the market for star midfielder Christian Petracca, but the club will have to orchestrate a trade with a 29-year-old still having 4 years to run on his current deal. Meantime, St Kilda President Andrew Bassett says there's a target on the club's back following an aggressive recruitment period. The Saints already attracting this off-season Tom De Koning, Jack Silvani, Leek Aaliyah and Liam Ryan. Bassett says he'll continue to fight after the club successfully argued for changes to academy and father-son rules.
There's no doubt we've played a big part in the change that happened last year and the further changes for next year's draft that was announced last week. Unfortunately, the changes do not go far enough, given the lopsided nature of the competition we saw this year and the fact that a handful of clubs, the same clubs, keep getting largesse from the draft.
Meantime, Saints star Nazai Wanganeen-Miller has won his first Trevor Barker Award for the best and fairest. Well, players from Team Europe have slammed the behaviour of American fans during golf's Ryder Cup in New York. At one stage, a cup of beer was thrown at the wife of Rory McIlroy. Teammate Shane Lowry taking time out of celebrations to call out the abuse.
I was out there for 2 days with Erica McIlroy, and the amount of abuse that she received was astonishing, and the way she was out there supporting her husband and supporting her team was unbelievable, and kudos to her for that.
And there's been one game in the English Premier League this morning, Everton and West Ham sharing the points in a 1-1 draw. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there at Torrensville, Car v Truck this morning. It's on Henley Beach Road near West Street, causing a few delays heading into the city. More delays at Penfield. That's got a smash there too on the Northern Expressway near Penfield Road. Quite heavy delays inbound through there at the moment. Works look out for at Salisbury East, Bridge Road near Melville Road, and an early morning camera, Frederick Road at Grange. Adelaide, why sit around waiting for summer when you can be there right now? AirAsia is flying you direct to Bali from just $229. What a dream. Book your sunny escape at airasia.com today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic, on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast, showers and 17 for your Tuesday. Showers increasing tomorrow 19, Thursday a shower or two 17, 19 again on Friday. Right now it's 14 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Get summer ready with TJM. Whether you're hitting the beach or heading off-road, TJM has the latest in four-wheel drive and camping gear to keep your adventure ready. Check out our brand new 270-degree freestanding awning, rooftop tents, camp chairs, fridges and everything else you'll need for the ultimate outdoor setup. Drive with confidence all summer long with TJM's range of ball bars, vehicle protection and premium suspension options, including GVM upgrades. TJM Nailsworth, Ranella and now Mount Gambier.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
25 minutes to 8. Good morning to you if you're joining us for the very first time. Will Goodings having the week off, enjoying it with his family. School holidays, of course. Jonno Edwards in the chair with David.
Well, can I just clarify one thing? I'm the one with children who are at school. Why aren't I on holidays? Will's daughter's not even at school yet. Has he told the boss that he needs to take school holidays off with his daughter who's currently not going to school?
Probably.
Because that would have been some sort of massive con that I've only just twigged 2 days into his annual leave.
I think given how the last 4 weeks have played out, the highs and lows of the Adelaide Football Club.
Yeah, maybe he's just gone off for some therapy.
Yeah, maybe his wife and kids aren't even with him. Maybe he's just gone, you know what, I need a break.
He's at a clinic in an undisclosed location.
Now, careful, because the advertiser or someone will run with that. It's definitely not happening.
He's being treated for what's known as straight sets exit syndrome.
Oh, God. How depressing. But the good news is we may see Christian Petracca, and I'm sure Will Goodings, if he had Christian Petracca's phone, he'd be ringing him, offering him to take him out to some of the magnificent restaurants across South Australia, and that's what we want to hear from you. Where are you wining and dining? Christian Petracca, 8223 0000. Breaking news, and you would have heard it with Mel Usher in 5AA News. Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman have split.
Yeah, 19 years of marriage. It's over. They put out a joint statement, which is very sad news. Both lovely people and, living over there in the US. But,
Very sad. Well, let's turn to federal politics and, well, I'd say let's head to Canberra, but Albo hasn't been there for at least, I think, a week and a half. He's living his best life, the summer holiday. He's been in Europe. He's been in the UK. He's been at Abu Dhabi overnight, which is where we find Phil Curry, the political editor for the Australian Financial Review. Phil, good morning to you. Any chance Albo's coming home anytime soon?
I hope so. Look, it's about 2 in.morning here, but we're leaving. I'm reliably informed we're going to be up in about 3 hours and on the plane and home, so he'll be home Wednesday morning. So it's been a long one, 11 days in all. So normally we just refuel. If we're coming back from Europe, we usually just stop off in either Dubai or Abu Dhabi to refuel, but it's decided to spend a day and a half here because I think it was to talk to the local sheikh about the Middle East and do a few other things. And but that's it. We're done. We'll be home Wednesday.
Phil, we should apologise, mate. We've clearly woken you up in the absolute dead of the night, 3 hours before you meant to get on a plane.
That's all right. I've so long given up on sleeping on these. I think you average about 3 hours a night, 4 hours a night. So I'm pretty used to it.
Well, Phil, can I ask you, there's been a bit of controversy back home about the optics of the Prime Minister going to the Labor Party, British Labor Party conference and pumping up the tyres of the embattled Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. What did you make of the wisdom of doing that? Do you think it was it something where the PM can rightly argue, look, we've got a relationship with England, we've got a relationship with their Prime Minister, or did it look like a favour for a mate, a party political favour?
Oh, definitely very much the latter, Dave. I actually wrote a piece pretty critical of it. Well, you can do what you like, the Prime Minister, when you're away, but 6 years ago, we came over to the US with Morrison, and we went out to Ohio to open this box factory as an Australian company called Busy. They were setting up this recycling centre, and Trump and Morrison were going to open this joint opening, and Trump turned into a MAGA rally.
That's right.
I remember Morrison's up on stage with Trump and turned into this full-blown MAGA rally out in the middle of Ohio, and people got pretty cranky at Morrison, including Albanese, the opposition leader, really stuck it to him for taking part in a political event, like a partisan political event. So this one I think was even more so because there was no opening of a box factory associated with it. When we travel on these trips, Dave, you have the Prime Minister has his staff, but you also have staff, public servants from the department who come and help with all the logistics like buses and times and getting us out of bed and onto buses and these sorts of things. And when we went to Liverpool, they didn't go because it was deemed a political event, and under the protocol, the public servants didn't want to be politicised, so they just stayed in London. So that sort of told you it was a Labor Party conference like you have back at home, and it was a political speech. We'd been in London for a couple of days. He'd already met Starmer at number 10 and done all those things. So I think he knew. He got in trouble for it.
Yeah, well, a fair comparison. Do you think? Clearly you've got a thumping majority, and the Libs are still running around like headless chooks, and Susan Lee's trying to put on a brave face, and Andrew Hastie's becoming a hero on the socials with some, I think, quite thought-provoking videos that he's made talking about manufacturing and so on. So Albo's clearly under no political pressure. Is there a danger, though, that the whole trip looks a bit indulgent?
There is if you stay away too long and do things like that. I mean, the United Nations was important, and he's never done that before, and most leaders go to that nearly every year. So it was a big occasion, and it was you've got to get away and go to these things. And what's interesting is watching how the rest of the world is having exactly the same problems as us, and how they're all dealing with them. And you jump across the Atlantic to go and see the UK and go to number 10 and visit the King. That's okay, but when you start bolting on these little add-ons, it starts to look a bit frivolous. And he's got a lot of travel left, Dave. We have to go back in 3 weeks to Washington.
You're joking.
Finally got that meeting with.
Of course, yeah, of course. That's a big one.
And then a week after that, it's what we call the summit season. The APEC and ASEAN. So it's another week away in Asia, and then there's a G20 meeting in December again in South Africa. So you got to do those. They're the big important regional summits. So. I think you just got to be a bit judicious about the extra stuff because someone can look like you're way too much.
Hey, Phil, just breaking as we speak, we're just receiving reports, it's been broadcast on Sky News and SMH The Age, that we understand the AUKUS review has been passed by the Pentagon. And I know it's 3 a.m. in the morning and you probably haven't checked the paper yet, but do you have any insight to, I guess, how this has played out?
No, that's the first I've heard of it, but only that all along on this trip, like the Prime Minister in his talks in America with the British and others, and he was telling us just 12 hours ago he spoke to the British Defence Secretary and Foreign Secretary and Starmer, and he had nothing to worry about. He said he wasn't concerned about the outcome of that review, so So we'll wait and see, I guess, whether he's right or not. But he was very confident all that week we're in America and the UK that it was going to be nothing to see here, but we'll wait and see.
Hey, Phil, we owe you a slab of the beer of your choice. Seriously, mate. I'm going to talk to the powers that be here, and we're going to send a carton to you in Canberra as a thank you for taking our call at 2 o'clock in the morning in Abu Dhabi and coming on and making such perfect sense about the state of play in Australian politics. None better
no problem,
in the business. Phil Curry, political editor for the Australian Financial Review, in bed in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, seriously, what an absolute pro. He didn't even hang on to say goodbye. He hung up. He's going back to bed. Fair enough. Hey, David, he's going to
wake up having a weird dream that the AUKUS deal's been approved.
Wow.
I don't know that.
Did that happen?
It's like it sort of subliminally entered my brain in the middle of the night.
Yeah, correct. Well, that is the news just in, and we do understand that AUKUS has survived the Pentagon review. It appears that Donald Trump and the US government has given it the tick of approval, David, which is good news for those who are working at Osborne and the significant amount of infrastructure and everything that goes along with that here in South Australia, very much relying on it. Something we're also relying on as Crows fans is Christian Petracca potentially coming to South Australia. Now, our next caller, I preface with that he's calling from Port Adelaide, so we'll see how this goes. Sean, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. How are you getting Christian Petracca across the line?
My recommendation is the best Euro shop in Adelaide and possibly the Lands, and that's Stasi & Co on Glenville Street. Get yourself in for the best Euros AB, baklavas, loaded fries you'll ever have in your life.
Fantastic.
How long have you worked there, Sean?
I have never worked there, but I spend a lot of more time there than most people that work there. So, I have no affiliation. I'm just a massive fan.
Magnificent.
Good on you, Sean.
Plenty of police home care texts coming through. I like this one. Len recommends Soto Fish and Chips Shop down at Semaphore.
Oh, yeah, great chips.
Best chips going round.
Best potato fritters as well.
Yes.
Hand cut. None of this factory-made nonsense that you get in the eastern states. Our good mate Mark Aston as well, who was the maitre d' with the mostest at Adelaide's flagship Italian restaurant La Trattoria. He texted saying that if Petracca signs on, he will get a free medium-sized Monte Bianco pizza, which is the white pizza base one, and also he'll get extra prawns in his spaghetti marinara at La Trappe. So how can you say no?
Sold.
That's to quote Don Corleone, that isn't. Mark has just made him an offer he cannot refuse.
Matty Nix, if you're listening, we're here to help. 8223 0000, the number to ring. If you've got somewhere that you'd love to take Christian Petracca to wine and dine him, get him across the line. Lines available, prizes to give away. But, David, we have a jury to convene after the break. And I'm going to set it up now. There's been a lot of talk regarding public transport in our state over the last 2 weeks or so. It's one of the key opposition, the Liberal Party's positions heading into the election next year. They're planning to implement 50-cent fares across all public transport, whereas our current government, the Labor Party, well, they're planning to make public transport just faster. But we're wondering, and I'm wondering, I wonder if free public transport is the way to go. It happened in Luxembourg in 2020. Would it convince you to jump on public transport? Now, the state government already subsidise and pay around about 90% of public transport costs. But I wonder, free or fair? I guess fair if it was faster or free.
Or in light of the chat we're having with Shane Oliver from AMP, there are others in the community who are concerned about government becoming a bottomless pit.
Well, yeah, correct. Free or
too.
fair? 8223 the number to ring. We've got a $100 Samtas voucher to give away for the best quality seafood and prices. Samtas Seafood open 7 days, factory direct, Richmond Road. Magnificent seafood. We'll be back, but let's check traffic. 8223 0000.
Morning there at Torrensville, a Carvey truck with debris on the road. Hindley Beach Road near West Street. Penfield was smashed on the Northern Expressway near Penfield Road. Quite big delays inbound through there at the moment. A little bit sluggish South Road at Glandore for the ongoing tram overpass works. Busy Brighton Road, Glenelg East with the Canberra Bartley Terrace, Westlake Shore this morning. Do you or someone you care for need complex mental health support? Sane can help. Choose from a range of free digital and telehealth support services. Visit sane.org today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Is your tech causing chaos? You need Geeks to You. Got a constantly crashing computer, weak Wi-Fi, problematic printer? Our fast and friendly geeks are available to come to you. No fix, no fee, Geeks guarantee. Geeks to You, part of Officeworks.
At Holistic Care SA, we're focused on capacity building, not just care. We help people with disability gain the support, skills and confidence for independent living. Whether it's creating a resume, catching a bus to the footy, or learning to cook independently in your home or in one of ours, Holistic Care SA makes those milestones happen. For a friendly chat about supported independent living, visit holisticcaresa.com.au, because everyone deserves the chance to become who they're meant to be.
If you've ever needed something custom printed, you know it can be absolutely messy with setup costs, minimum orders and long waits. Printably cuts that all out, David.
They certainly do. They'll print whatever you need, be it T-shirts for a reunion, hoodies for your club, uniforms for the whole workplace, or just one shirt for a mate. No setup fees, no minimums and no hidden costs.
Best of all, it's all done right here in South Australia with fast turnaround and delivery straight to your door.
Printably can handle small runs and big production jobs, and if you found a cheaper price somewhere else, they will beat it, guaranteed.
So whether it's for business, sport, or just a one-off idea you've always wanted to wear, Christian Petracca or Adelaide, something along those lines, trust the local team who make it easy. Head to Printably today and print your ideas and bring them to life.
Life is full of changes, and changes need space. At Roomia, we understand big transitions. That's why we offer flexible and secure storage to give you peace of mind. Short or long-term storage, no sign-up fees, no lock-in contracts, and a free move-in van to make your move simple. Relocating, renovating, or looking to create more room? Discover how easy it is to make your life roomier. Find Roomia Self-Storage at St Mary's, Beverley and Seaford. Visit roomia.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
10 minutes to 8, David. I do reiterate the breaking news. It appears the US government are happy with the AUKUS deal and the review has been completed, and all reports are that it's going ahead. The Prime Minister is set to meet with Donald Trump next week. Rex Patrick, the former senator, has called in. Rex, good morning to you. What are your thoughts on the matter?
Good morning. Well, I think you got it right in that this is a very good deal for the US. In some of the commentary, officials behind the scenes have indicated that there are scheduling problems. And so in 2035, we may get political submarines from the US. We just won't get real ones.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Rex. I thought we had a cross line there with the voice in the background. You sound like you're about to board a plane.
I am in an airport.
Okay, no worries. I guess the thing, Rex, was Trump whispering is almost a profession these days. Trying to work out what the president thinks about any issue is always a fraught process. But clearly, as you say, it could have been very easily put to Trump in a persuasive fashion that this is more upside for the US even than it is for Australia.
Well, we can see that we're spending 4.7 billion Australian dollars on US shipyards to try and bring them up to the point where they can deliver the 2.3 submarines per annum that is required in order for us to get our submarines. The difficulty is the US has for a decade been saying that they wanted to increase the build rate of their submarines to 2 per annum, and they've been unable to do that. And the United States incoming Chief of Naval Operations indicated there would need to be transformational change in order for us to be able to get these submarines, in order for the US to be able to deliver. And that transformational change is simply not occurring.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Transparency advocate and former Senator for South Australia, Rex Patrick. Good on you for joining us.
In the criminal justice system, all defendants are innocent until proven guilty, either by confession, plea bargain, or trial by jury. This is one of those trials.
It certainly is a $100 Samtas voucher to give away. We want to hear from you. 8223 0000. Free or fair? Free or fair? Do you think free public transport here in South Australia could be the answer? Both the government and the opposition having different spins on how they subsidise or how they would run public transport. The opposition planning to do 50-cent fares if they get in.
Well, the thing too to remember is it doesn't matter if it's Labor or Liberal who are in. It's already free and will remain free if you've got a seniors card. So if you're an oldie, you get it for nothing anyway. But as you said, Jonno, other countries around the world have found that the best way to actually increase patronage, get more cars off the road, reduce congestion, reduce pollution, is to just say, well, we're subsidising it anyway, so why not just make it completely free? Mm-hmm. Others, like our good mate Rob and I singing from the same song sheet, go, do we have a bottomless pit of cash? And wonder whether focusing on increasing the frequency, which was Labor's argument yesterday with its announcement, we're not having free travel, we're not having cheaper travel, we're going to have faster travel and make it a more pleasurable and effective and useful experience to use a bus or a train.
Free or fast? 8223 0000, the number to ring. Juror number 1, over to you.
Good morning. I'm going to go with free for a number of reasons, but it will certainly get the car off the road and it will encourage me to walk to work and possibly ride to the train station.
Yeah,
so I'm going to go with free.
Good work. Juror number 2, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I'd say free, because there's a lot of people using it now that don't pay anyway. Nothing's done about it. The drivers don't do anything. The inspectors are never on there and do anything. There's signs there saying that there's a $1,250 fine for fare evasion, and that's a complete joke. I've even rang the former Transport Minister about it and informed him about it, and never even got a response from him. So for me, I might as well make it free.
Interesting.
Who was the former Transport Minister, just out of question, juror number 2?
Mr. Coots and Tony.
Oh. Sometimes not getting a response out of him can be a good thing. But good on you, juror number 2.
Juror number 3, good morning.
Hello, I would go with fair, but they've just got to make it much more efficient. Like, people who catch it on Main North Road have to go into the city to go out to other areas. Like, that's just ridiculous. So fixing the route would make it a much better opportunity for it to be used, I feel.
You do travel anywhere across the world who have got, London, the UK, America, you name it, Europe, Asia, who have got amazing transport systems, and you do look back at South Australia and go, yeah, we're a little bit behind here.
Yeah, part of the challenge though is it's often bigger cities. The bigger they are, the better the system. But equally, there's a lot of smaller places like Copenhagen and that. Not that I've ever been there, but my sister used to live there, where they just go, a great public transport system is the bedrock of any city, big or small, and we've never quite had that. I mean, we pioneered other things like the road that goes in different directions at different times of day.
I was going to mention that.
That's where we've been at the forefront.
Remember that Southern Expressway? I would have loved to have been in that meeting.
What time is it again?
Yeah. What if we did it one way at one time and the other at the other?
Well,
Great idea.
The then Transport Minister, God bless her, Diana Laidlaw, she said this road's going to make us the talk of the nation, and she was right.
Yeah, certainly. You tell anyone overseas that we had that, they just go, so what?
I know.
Oh, it gives us good fodder, though. That's all right. Juror number 4, good morning to you.
Good morning. Look, I'm saying fair. I've catched the bus very often on Hampstead Road to head into the city. A lot of the time, the bus is full, you can't get on it, or the bus keeps going, or you just can't even get a seat in the bus. And then you've got kind of articulated buses or the bendy buses going past the other way with no one on them. So in terms of just whoever coordinates the kind of buses on the road probably needs to do a better job. I think, look, we're not that far away from it. In terms of being able to just put extra buses on, I think would kind of solve the problem. I think like the prices are fairly reasonable. They're not like excessive, I wouldn't think so. And the other thing I wanted to mention, the O-Bahn wasn't a bad kind of one to get off the ground in 1985. I think we should be proud of that.
Yeah, totally.
It's still going today.
The O-Bahn's great.
That's why everyone's driving
the
on
O-Bahn.
it. They just want the experience of being on the O-Bahn.
See if I can get my car through that thing. Yeah, all right. How hard can it be?
Let's finish it with juror number 5. Juror number 5, finish us off. What are you thinking?
I think that what juror number 4 said was very sensible, but I agree and we'll go for fair.
Yeah.
Charge for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Those who can afford it will pay, pensioners for free, and seniors get it free, and give the school kids for free. Then they won't be playing the WAG.
The WAG. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well done, juror number 5.
Northeastern, the O-Bahn is the best thing on this earth.
Absolutely. We love it.
I used to use it all the time, and now...
As a Westerner, I haven't had much experience with the O-Bahn.
I tell you, I know one bloke who loved the O-Bahn, and that's Christian Petracca. Hey, we've got to pick a winner from this. Let's go. I reckon because the good folk of Aldinga, what they need down there, and the land has been set aside for it, they need a train station. Hopefully they're going to get one soon, given that the number of houses down there are growing like topsy. Let's give it to juror number 1, the Samtas fish tray.
Juror number 1, $100 worth of Samtas seafood on the way.
We love Samtas.
A huge breaking 8 at After the News, and we'll be back shortly.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Let's talk about Harvey Norman's September sellout. It's on right now. Grab yourself an HP 15S Intel Core i5 laptop. Super hot sellout price, now just $698. Genuine value and great for general use, including email, video calls, any office work, and for students. Or save $500 on the Lenovo Ryzen AI5 laptop with 24 gig of RAM and a 512 gig SSD slashed to just $998. Gamers, this one's for you. The Acer Nitro V with Intel Core i9 and RTX 4050 graphics is an amazing deal at only $1398. There are more sellout savings in-store and online.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Whether you're running a big project or juggling multiple sites, meetings and deadlines, that's a Kennard's Hire job. From roads, transport and renewables to schools and hospitals, if you're in charge of major infrastructure projects, Kennard's Hire has the capability, solutions and expertise to make the job easy. So when you need the right solution with 24/7 support, that's a Kennard's Hire job.
Hi, Kennard's Hire.
Talk to our experts today.
Kennard's make your job easy.
Up-to-the-minute news for South Australia. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 17 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher. There's still no sign of Gus, the 4-year-old boy who wandered off on the family's property near Yunta on the weekend. Police divers yesterday searching dams and water tanks. Hannah Ford from 7 News is there and says everyone is doing their bit to find him.
There are so many locals that are helping as well, which is just, it's heartening to see everyone up. I know one person who is a friend of the family who hasn't even told them that he's here, but he's come all the way from Clare, heard the news and just made his way down and has just got his motorbike and he's just doing circles and laps of this property.
A former ambassador to Israel says Hamas will have to sign its own extinction warrant for a peace plan to succeed. The Israeli Prime Minister and US President have released a 20-point proposal which demands the terror group release all hostages and play no role in governing Gaza. Donald Trump will also chair a board of peace to oversee the implementation. Former ambassador and Liberal Senator Dave Sharma says there is a reasonable chance of success.
Hamas, yes, it has to sign its own extinction warrant, but the leaders are being offered amnesty and safe passage out of there, exile if you like, depending on the level of military pressure they are feeling right now in Gaza City. And bear in mind they've lost a lot of their senior military leadership. That might be an attractive offer for some of them to take.
The Reserve Bank is widely expected to keep interest rates on hold when the board hands down its decision this afternoon. The official cash rate likely to stay at 3.6%. Financial analysis group Equifax shows demand for mortgages remains robust despite no rate cut. General Manager Moses Samaha says investors are doing better than first home buyers.
We saw a reduction in first home owner applications in the month of August. What that tells me is more cuts need to happen to encourage first home owners to get back in market.
The rates announcement will be made at 2 p.m. An Australian tool to calculate melanoma risk is expected to go global. Gabrielle Hodson has the story.
QUT and QAMR Berghofer have come up with a melanoma risk calculator based on more than a decade of data from 40,000 responses. The free online tool is giving more accurate and advanced results than ever before. News Corp says the game-changing new tool can determine your percentage risk for developing the deadly skin cancer over 5 and 10 years. It asks each person 16 different questions, including how often they've been sunburnt and any family history of melanoma. Researchers say it'll allow them to focus on the people with the highest risk.
A big split in Hollywood. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have separated after 19 years of marriage. The 57 and 58-year-old tied the knot in June 2006. They have 2 daughters. Now turning to 5AA Sport, and it's over to the man who knows it all, Tom Wren.
Thank you for that, Masha. Adelaide is doing its best to land Melbourne midfielder Christian Petracca. He arrived in town yesterday to meet with the club officials and to have a medical. Petracca, though, tight-lipped when arriving.
Are you here having a look at the Crows this afternoon?
I don't think it's the appropriate time to comment. Sorry, guys.
Audio there thanks to 9. Meantime, veteran forward Taylor Walker is back in town and is expected to make a call on his future in the next couple of days. Well, St Kilda star Nazai Wanganeen-Millera has won his first Trevor Barker Award as the Saints' best and fairest. The 22-year-old recently re-signed on a multi-million-dollar contract with the club, rejecting interest from South Australian clubs. Brisbane locals will get a chance to view the Premiership Cup for the second time in 2 years when the players are presented to the city today. A ceremony will be held in Queen's Park for Queenslanders to welcome home their conquering heroes. Well, the NRL is still expecting American singer Teddy Swims to perform at Sunday's grand final between the Melbourne Storm and Brisbane Broncos. He had to pull out of a show in Hawaii on the weekend, with doctors advising him not to sing. Cricket Australia is set to record an $11 million loss from last summer. That's despite a huge test series against India. Aussie Alex de Minaur will be in action in the semi-finals of the China Open later today. But it won't be easy as he comes up against the world number one Yannick Sinner, a player he's never beaten from 10 attempts. One game in the English Premier League this morning, it was a 1-1 draw between West Ham and Everton. And there's 2 games in the NFL to wrap up week 4 this morning, with the winless New York Jets up against the winless Miami, while Cincinnati will take on the Denver Broncos. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there. A couple of crashes causing quite big delays at the moment. One at Penfield involving a couple of cars. It's on the Northern Expressway inbound near Penfield Road. Really big delays through there. Another crash causing delays, a truck and a car, with this one at Torrensville, Henley Beach Road near West Street, and one just in at Fulham. A smash at Tapley's Hill Road near Henley Beach Road. Cameras, Valletta Road, Kidman Park, and Shepherdson Road at Parafield Gardens. Look for the RAA sign at over 400 independent RAA approved repairers across SA. You know you can trust them because RAA do. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA weather, 17 today with showers. Showers increasing tomorrow, 19. A shower or two Thursday, 17. Back to 19 on Friday. Right now it's 15 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's RSPCA's Give to Get Them Home appeal this Thursday. All donations will be automatically doubled thanks to their generous matching partners. Your donation will help care for SA's most vulnerable animals. $10 becomes $20, $50 becomes $100. Donate at rspcagivingday.com/SA this Thursday. RSPCA's Give to Get Them Home appeal. Every dollar helps, especially when it's doubled.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Come up to see me.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
There's nothing left. Oh, God.
8:07 on this Tuesday morning. Good morning to you if you're joining us for the very first time. Will Goodings having the week off, enjoying it with his family. Jonno Edwards in the chair. We'll be back next week. No fear, don't worry. Of course, it is school holidays. I'm sure there's some grandparents and parents trying to find something to keep their kids preoccupied today, David. But you know, at least 29 degrees on Sunday. It's looking like an absolute perler for the weekend. Plenty of breaking news this morning. We've just heard in 5AA News, again, the sad situation with Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman. Also news coming from the US regarding AUKUS. We'll continue to pull that apart. And, of course, the leading story here in South Australia, the continued search for 4-year-old Gus in the state's mid-north at Yunta. We'll hear from the officer in charge of the search. Still plenty to come, and we're taking your calls. 8223 0000. Where would you wine and dine? Where would you take Christian Petracca?
There's a great text here from Mike, who I think might be making quite a valid point. He says, hey, good morning, everyone. If Christian Petracca has been listening to the 2 hours of the show this morning and all of this fan love coming in from so many people, I think he's probably looking for the first flight to Brisbane right now.
We do our part, don't we?
Well,
not sure
right.
who for.
That's right.
Let's break some 8.
Let's do it. Well, later this week, the nation's police ministers are going to be holding a very important meeting about the manner in which tobacco is being policed in this country, the manner in which tobacco is being taxed in this country. Now, only a couple of days ago, we had the Health Minister, Mark Butler, on our program where he insisted that the police, customs, all of the relevant agencies are getting on top of this and that they are going to win the war against organised crime, to which a lot of people would say, you're kidding, aren't you? And I think one of them is our next guest, Theo Ficare, who represents the Australian Association of Convenience Stores, who have been absolutely decimated by the explosion in illegal tobacco as they diligently and lawfully try to sell the legal version of the product. Theo, good morning, and thanks for joining us. Mate, I earlier today, before the show, I was reading a statement you made back in June this year where you commended the New South Wales government, Chris Minns' government, for speaking sense about the obvious and inevitable impact of such high rates of taxation on a legal product in tobacco. All of the chickens have really come home to roost for the feds on this, haven't they?
Yeah, look, absolutely. So, again, I think all state premiers need to stand up and back in Chris Minns. I think he's on the money. He's dealing with it on the ground. I think, the more people you talk to, including everyday Australians, both smokers and non-smokers, all come to the same conclusion that right now the tobacco policy and the associated crime is in like an absolute tatters. I think, where we're at, I believe Mark Butler is now the poster boy for crime bosses. They must love him. And at the same time, Mark Butler's legacy is going to be returning tobacco control back to the 70s whilst creating a national crisis of crime that is now affecting every state and territory. It's absolutely wild, to be frank.
Isn't it? I mean, it goes beyond him, though. I mean, you could sort of take it right back to the Rudd era when Nicola Roxon was the health minister. That's when the big blitz started. The excise, the automatic biannual excise increases continued when the Libs were in power. It's been going on for a long time. But, I mean, doesn't Chicago sort of should have taught us the lesson from 100 years ago, shouldn't it?
Yeah, look, absolutely. And it has been going on with successive governments. But I think the biggest difference now, illegal tobacco and illegal vaping products have exploded under Labor's watch. And that's because they've effectively banned vapes and gifted that to the crime gangs. And then they've continued with the excise increases. Over the last 3 years, it's 15% on top of, if I track back the last 12 years, it's about 400% up. So, I think the biggest issue that I have right now is we've got the health minister and we have the treasurer, Jim Chalmers, and the Illicit Tobacco and E-Cigarette Commission are saying excise hasn't affected crime and the gangs are still going to operate. Now, that is absolute bollocks. When you've got Roy Morgan saying that nicotine usage is at 17%, it's the same as it was over a decade ago. When you've got the wastewater analysis saying that nicotine is the same level that it was, it's higher than it was 8 years ago when they actually first started tracking this. Like, the federal government have their head in the sand, and the biggest issue is they just need to stand up and admit that the policy for nicotine control in Australia is seriously broken. They need to meet with the stakeholders, not just their health mates, and get on with it. Because the impact on the federal government from an excise perspective is, they've dropped $8 billion on 5 years ago per annum.
Yeah.
And
what's it look like for the average convenience store owner, Theo? How much money, as a percentage of turnover, how much are they down by? I know it would vary from city to city depending on the availability of illegal cigarettes. Obviously, the bigger the city, the easier it is to get a pack of dodgy darts. But what would most of your members have lost?
So our sales are down in the first 3 months of this year by 50%. So it used to make up 40% of the total shop sales. It's now down to as low as 10%. And if people were giving up smokes, we wouldn't care because, it is what it is. But at the moment, it's just being handed over to these crime groups.
Yeah.
Now, if I put it back to a per-store basis, each store has lost about $80,000 in gross margin. That's about half of their profit. So in an environment where you've got operating costs increase, insurance costs increase, labour costs increase, everything's increasing, to have up to half of your profit just wiped out is making it borderline impossible to continue operating.
Yeah.
And, we're talking about businesses, most of them are small family businesses that have been trying to do the right thing to try and support their local community, but they're just not on an even playing field. And there's plenty of skeptics out there that say, if you reduce the tax, you've got to make it the same price as the illegal market. Well, actually, no. We've done modelling that says if you bring it back to the excise rate in 2018, it would make a legal pack at around $25 for a packet of 20s. That same equivalent would be $15. Now, I know it's more expensive, but most Aussies want to do the right thing, and most Aussies don't want to support crime groups who are selling drugs and all other sorts of bad stuff and driving crime into the community. So it's not about, this isn't about getting more sales back for legal retailers. Well, partly it is, and this isn't a conspiracy by the big tobacco companies. This is a horrendous policy that has stripped important funding from the federal government as well as the state government in terms of their GST allocation that has now driven a crime crisis that we have never seen before in this country. And believe it or not, these crime groups, a lot of these petty crimes that happen, steal cars, break into houses, rob retail stores, these crime gangs have got little tyre kickers that they pay $500 to, and they go wreak havoc in the community.
Yeah. No, they got their tentacles everywhere. Theo Ficare, thank you for that. We're going to bring the AMA into it to get the health angle covered off. Dr. Peter Subramaniam is the SA president. Dr. Subramaniam, do you think it's at the point now, and Theo made a good point there about the actual rate of smoking, do you think that the increased availability of eminently more affordable illegal cigarettes is actually making more people smoke?
I suspect it is, actually, because I think the easy availability makes it, especially to vulnerable groups, and I'm talking about young people who are prone to, experimenting, peer pressure and so on. But I think what we need to understand is whether it's legal tobacco or illegal tobacco, the health impact is actually costing the community a whole amount of money down the track. What surprised me was the sheer scale of the seizure from Operation Shutdown. 3.3 million cigarettes, over 10,000 vapes, and a ton of loose tobacco since 5th of June. That's a lot of tobacco and nicotine products, because vapes, of course, give you the nicotine that's easily available. And that's the crisis from a health perspective, because it's not every cigarette you sell creates a health problem down the track, because it increases addiction, making it hard for people who want to try to stop smoking. So, yeah, we are concerned about the presence of illegal tobacco in the market.
Do you have a different model that you'd use? I mean, prohibition doesn't seem to be the way to do it. I mean, some countries have said that there should be a system where you actually have to register through your GP as a smoker and almost get like a smoking licence, so that your first point of contact when you do make the foolish but still quite a frequent decision to become a smoker, it sort of gets kicked into the health space from the get-go.
Yeah, I think we've seen that prohibition or a complete ban of tobacco is not feasible in my view, and it's probably more likely to create a larger illegal market. We've got the three things that we try to do in this country, and incidentally, Australia is actually a leader in terms of, smoking reduction. And, it's a combination of education, which is really what we're pushing, getting people to understand that tobacco and tobacco products are bad for your health.
Yeah.
Then there's a combination of the cost. I think that's what your previous, guest was talking about. People who are willing to pay $45 for a packet of cigarettes have a clear addiction. And that addiction is the bit where the health intervention occurs. GPs help with the quit programs and so on. But the other thing, of course, is enforcement. And that's what you've seen with Operation Shutdown.
Yeah.
So it's a three-pronged approach to it. And we would really favor education, getting people, especially young people, especially vulnerable groups, to be aware that this is not a good investment, legal or illegal.
Yeah, well, we thank you for your time and your insights, Dr. Peter Subramaniam, and earlier Theo Ficare from the Australian Association of Convenience Stores. Just to round that out, to the point that the doctor made from the AMA, the idea that there's a particular group of people who are buying illegal cigarettes, I would describe that group of people as everybody.
Completely.
If you've ever walked past one of these stores and seen who's coming out, I would describe those people as mums, pensioners, teenagers, white-collar workers, tradies, and everybody else. And the text that we're getting attest to that, and these are all law-abiding people. They probably don't want me to read their names out, but I'll redact them on the fly, Jonno.
I like it.
Here's one. I can get 1,000 smokes for $700, less than $1 per stick. Legit smokes cost me $2.50 a stick. I'm no rocket scientist, but what am I going to do? Theo was right. I'd prefer not to buy the illegal cigarettes, but my budget says otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the general consensus.
Normal law-abiding people, and you're actually not breaking the laws buying illegal cigarettes because, weirdly, every single part of the business is illegal apart from the purchasing them bit. So the act of buying the cigarettes is not illegal. So no one's breaking the law by buying them. People who would never dream of breaking the law, never dream of getting involved in any kind of nefarious business, will happily walk into a gift shop and become friends with the three guys behind the counter who are all dressed like Ali G and are getting all of their gear from Iran and go, you beauty, and suck on this Canberra because I'm about to suck on this for $15 a pack instead of $60 a pack.
And I suppose the other side of it as well is we know how much small business is struggling, and this is going to happen with the amount of suspicious fires that have taken place in this state. Every day there is something new. The MFS is busier than ever. Insurance premiums will go up.
Correct.
Someone will get hurt. And that is the other side to it. I think people in Canberra aren't really thinking about right now because it's not front of mind.
Well, the other problem too, though, and Grant Stevens would never come into the studio and say this, or any police commissioner, no state police commissioner is going to say this. But do you reckon 2 years ago the state's police commissioners were going, you know what would be really good? Amid all of the criticism we're getting about domestic violence and gang crime and machetes and shoplifting, what would be really good is if we had a really porous border where none of the shipping containers were being checked at anywhere near the level they were, and the entire country was awash with illegal tobacco products, and we were suddenly told that because of the violence that ensued, it was our job to look after all of it. Like, it's just a total bloody disaster.
St. Paul's not that busy, are they?
No, they've got nothing else on their plate.
All right, if you've got a thought on that, 8223 0000, the number to ring. We're taking your calls, your texts on the police home care text line, but let's check traffic.
Morning there at Torrensville, a car v truck smash getting cleaned up at the moment. Henley Beach Road near West Street, still seeing delays inbound. Really big delays inbound at the moment at Penfield. That's due to a smash in the Northern Expressway near Penfield Road. Another collision getting cleaned up at Fulham, Tapley's Hill Road near Henley Beach Road. Busy South Road, Edwardstown with a camera right now. Yulee Road at Craigmore. You wouldn't operate a chainsaw blindfolded, so why dig without searching before you dig first? If you don't, you're digging blind. Search before you dig online every time. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowie and Timmy G.
Christian Petracca is the answer, one of, for that midfield. Yeah. God, if they can nail him. Yeah. How old is he, 30? He loves Food Mine, with a Kepler Food Mine. If he's half interested in coming here, we're in the premiership window. Midfielder can drift forward. Oh, my God.
The 5AA Sports Show.
Oh, we're not going to pay overs.
Pig's ass! Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Harris Scarf mid-season sale is on now. Save 40 to 60% off cookware and kitchenware, plus 30 to 50% off air fryers by Smith & Noble. Hurry, sale ends soon. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices.
At Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, the swear jar takes on a whole new meaning. It's about their pledge to do everything they can to make your bathroom or kitchen renovation experience the best it can possibly be. It's a commitment their entire business takes seriously, from their incredible design team through to their selections and tradespeople. Every person at Buy Urban is invested. They swear by it. Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts.
When you need capability, solutions and expertise for major projects, that's a Kennards Hire job.
Hi, Kennards Hire.
For 24/7 customer support, talk to our experts today.
Kennards make your job easy.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
24 minutes past 8. Good morning to you. Will Goodings having the week off, enjoying his school holidays. Hope you're enjoying it with your kids or your grandkids, whatever it is you are up to. But David, let's turn to the continuing story that's plaguing, I guess, the news service at the moment, and that is Optus. More and more problems coming forward. We've heard an additional outage that affected a number of customers in New South Wales. Carol Bennett is the Australian Communications Consumer Action Network CEO, and she joins us now. Carol, another outage. Are we going to see more of this, or do you think there's a solution not too far away?
Well, we could see more of it if we don't act quickly to shore up the public's safety, and that's the most critical thing at this time. This should not have happened again. It shouldn't have happened the last two times. Now the community need to see that this system actually works and that the things that need to be done to ensure that the processes and systems are in place must be conveyed to the public, and they need to rebuild confidence of the community that the 000 system can be relied upon.
Well, to that point, Carol, there are issues here that go well beyond Optus, are there not? They involve other telcos like Telstra and so on, because they're also involved in the backup system in the event that one carrier can't handle 000 calls. There's a role for government too. What's the sort of immediate fix or the immediate sort of list of things that needs to be fixed to get this safe again?
Well, I think the most important thing is that we bring in an independent technical expert. So under Optus's carrier licence condition, the Minister can make a statutory appointment of that function, and that would oversight immediately the capability and the operations of Optus and ensure that the system works. So that's the most important thing. There are also a number of other things that need to happen coming out of the last Optus outage review, the Bean review, which made 18 recommendations, and things like the 000 custodian need legislation fast-tracked. And then, as you say, there's a broader ecosystem here that needs to be addressed. Now, look, telecoms fail. They do. They're not 100% resilient, but the 000 system must be 100% resilient. And that's why you have redundancy built into the system, so that they call it camp-on arrangements, where if a 000 service fails, it diverts to another telco. Now, that didn't happen this time. It didn't happen last time. And the question is, why did that not occur? And they're the processes that we need to make sure are fully in place so it doesn't happen again. Yeah,
absolutely. Well said. Carol Bennett, the CEO of the Australian Communications Consumer Action Network. Hey, Jonno, you were saying before you got your tomatoes in, you're a keen gardener. Can I ask you, with no judgment, are you a leaf blower owner?
Yes, but I've just converted from petrol to electric. Is that controversial?
No, I don't really care what it's powered with. I'm agnostic when it comes to your choice of fuel. I'm a battery guy. I got the world's cheapest one from Bunnings. But the reason I ask, because I was anti-leaf blowers for a while. Whenever I heard a leaf blower, I'd lie in bed on a Sunday going, you lazy bugger. Come put your back into it. Get a broom, for crying out loud. But then I got one, and I'm like, oh, hang on a minute. Still a broom enthusiast. But for those hard-to-reach places, the reason I mention this, how's the extra story, and love to know what you think, folks, on the other side of the 8:30 news. So Zurich, the city of Zurich, has banned leaf blowers. No. They've said they're illegal. Like, talk about nanny state overreach, but their argument is they're too bloody noisy, brooms work just fine. If you are caught in Zurich with a leaf blower, the Polizei will come and throw you in the clink.
Jim's mowing has just had a heart attack. We can't. That is un-Australian.
I know.
All lawnmowers out there.
Swiss.
I've mowed lawns. You need the blower. It is a military operation to mow as many lawns as possible in one day and make as much money as possible. Lawn care professionals.
And to make as much mess, but then to leave the place looking spotless because you've blown it all into the garden beds.
You blow it into the garden bed, or you blow it out onto the road.
Should we ban leaf blowers? Or is the right to own leaf blower? Do we need our own leaf blower Second Amendment?
We're going to need an ombudsman for lawnmowers, I think.
The right to bear leaf blowers.
Seriously. Hey, David, something else that we're going to see play out today is some news regarding one of your favourite festivals, the Harvest Rock Festival. They're announcing, how much of a surge in tickets that they've had. So many people wanting to jump on board, but they're also going to be announcing some of the food that's going to be on offer for
I want to know
the
what
festival.
times the bands are playing.
Because you've got to be on air the next morning?
No. You'll be pleased to hear, mate. I'm only going on the Saturday. No, I did this thing months and months ago. Rotary asked if I would make a speech at this conference that they're having about what it's like to be an exchange student. And I got nothing but respect and admiration for that organisation, Rotary. So I said, yeah, for sure, I'll do it. Turns out it's the same day as Harvest Rock. So I'm giving a speech on the night that the Strokes are playing.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to come here, probably park at AA, walk down to King Henry Park with Kate, get a few bands in, then go to wherever this Rotary function is, give a speech. But hopefully the speech will be early enough that get there in time to see the Strokes. And yes, but need to know what time are these bands playing.
Well, that'll play out today. And that could be another place you might take Christian Petracca, 8223 0000. Where would you wine and dine? If you're Matthew Nix, where are you taking him today? We've still got time to take your calls. Plenty of prizes to give away. After the news, we'll get the very latest on the Yunta search for the 4-year-old boy. Truly horrific, but we will get the very latest after this.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 17 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher. Police, emergency services and volunteers continue to search a remote sheep property near Yunta for missing 4-year-old Gus. He vanished early Saturday evening. Hannah Ford from 7 News is there and says the property is around 60 square kilometres.
When you look around, it looks like it's almost flat, the ground. But I've spoken to locals and their knowledge of the area. There is a lot of hidden peaks and troughs. It's very undulating. There are a lot of places that this little boy could be.
A stolen car has been torched at Flinders Park. Senior Constable Liam Bennett says it was reported on fire on Frobisher Avenue around 3 a.m.
And on arrival, police found the Toyota four-wheel drive well alight, with MFS working quickly to extinguish the blaze. Now, that vehicle sustained significant damage, and the fire is actually being treated as suspicious after police uncovered it was displaying stolen number plates.
Today is your last chance to hand in prohibited knives and machetes before the 3-month amnesty ends. They can be surrendered anonymously at police stations apart from Hindley or Grenfell Street. So far, 3,255 have been handed in, 80% of them machetes or swords. The tough new knife laws were introduced in July, targeting both possession and supply of dangerous weapons. Gaza will be redeveloped and the Strip overseen by a so-called Board of Peace chaired by Donald Trump under the US President's plan to end the war. Lauren Tomasi reports.
Donald Trump has unveiled a 20-point plan, so-called Principles of Peace, which the US President says will end the war in Gaza. They include the immediate end to the military operation in the Strip, the return of hostages within 72 hours, along with the redevelopment of the Gaza Strip and a so-called Board of Peace, chaired by Donald Trump to oversee the Gaza governance. While Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has agreed to the framework, it does not get over the line without Hamas also coming to the table. Donald Trump has warned the group that Israel will have full US backing to eliminate the threat if it does not agree.
The return of Harvest Rock this year is striking a chord with music fans. It will be staged in the East Parklands the last weekend in October. Tourism Minister Zoe Bettison says there's plenty of demand for tickets, with 30% of sales coming from interstate.
We're getting some great news when we're looking at the forward booking of hotel occupancy. On the Saturday, the occupancy is 70%. Which is fantastic. And we're seeing really strong single-day tickets on the Saturday, sold out already.
Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have gone their separate ways after 19 years of marriage and 2 children. Entertainment reporter Peter Ford says they've been apart for several months.
It's not of Nicole's choosing, and he's actually gone and purchased or rented another home in Nashville, and that has always been their primary residence in Nashville, but he's moved out of what is the family home.
Now turning to 5AA Sport, here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Melbourne star Christian Petracca has flown to Adelaide to meet with the Crows. He's reportedly met with coach Matthew Nix and has had a medical. It's despite the Norm Smith medal winner being contracted with the Demons until the end of 2029, while it's understood Gold Coast is reportedly also interested in the 29-year-old. Let's get to soccer, and one game in the English Premier League this morning, and it's finished in a 1-1 draw between Everton and West Ham. The Toffees took the lead in the first half, but the Hammers hit back in the 65th minute thanks to a cracking finish from Jared Bowen.
Oh, with a strike! It's brilliant!
Jared Bowen gets West Ham level, and in some style too.
Yeah, it was a gorgeous goal. Audio thanks to Stan Sport. The result lifts Everton to 9th, while the Hammers are stuck in the relegation zone in 19th. Well, Live golfer Abraham Answer has committed to playing the Australian summer. He'll contest the PGA Championship in Brisbane and the Australian Open in Melbourne. Australia has won 3 medals on day 3 of the World Para-Athletics Championships in New Delhi. Paralympic champion James Turner reclaimed his 400-metre crown, while wheelchair racer Reid McCracken and javelin thrower Dana Creese also finished on the podium with silver and bronze respectively. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there. Crash getting cleaned up at the moment at Torrensville. Car v truck. Debris on the road there. Hindley Beach Road near West Street. Still got really big delays with earlier 2-car smash at Penfield. It's on the Northern Expressway near Penfield Road. Those delays are inbound. And Fulham crash getting cleaned up at the moment at Tapley's Hill Road near Hindley Beach Road. Wide busy. South Road, Karata Park with a camera right now. Yulee Road at Craigmore. The Big Points Blitz is back this week at Woolworths. Double your everyday rewards points on every shop, in-store or online at Woolworths. Hurry, offer ends today. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast: showers for your Tuesday, 17. Showers increasing tomorrow, 19. Thursday, a shower or two, 17. 19 again on Friday. Right now, it's 15 degrees on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
We only get a few summers to enjoy together as a family. Only a few sandy car seats, salt-stained bathers, burning, bare feet, frozen icebox summers. That's why fitting the most into this summer can't wait. With small class sizes and structured progress, State Swim has been creating stronger, safer swimmers for over 50 summers. So enrol your child in swimming lessons. Because summer can't wait. Sign up at stateswim.com.au.
Separation, parenting disputes, property division. Family law is emotional and complex, but you don't have to face it alone. I'm Ben Thilthorpe from BTD Lawyers, and we're here to stand with you. With professional expertise, personal service, and proven results, we'll guide you through every step with care, clarity, and confidence. Book your obligation-free consultation today. Barbara Thilthorpe Daniel Lawyers, specialising in family law. Visit btdlawyers.au.
Our nurses and midwives are at breaking point. Every day we help South Australians through their most vulnerable moments. But right now we're being pushed to the limit with feelings of burnout, fatigue and being undervalued. Respectful wages and safe working conditions are about valuing us and also ensuring there are enough nurses and midwives to provide the care you deserve. Support those who care for you. Visit respectnursesandmidwives.com. Authorised by Elizabeth DeBars, ANMFSA, Religion, South Australia.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
23 minutes to 9. Good morning to you if you are joining us for the first time. Will Goodings having the week off. Jonno Edwards in the chair. David, let's head straight to Yunta for the very latest on missing 4-year-old Gus. Mark Cyrus is the superintendent and the officer in charge of this search. Superintendent, good morning to you. What is the very latest?
Oh, good morning. Look, we're now into our fourth day of our search. Gus was last seen about 60 hours ago, so we've just finished briefing the search crews and just deploying them out into the search area for the fourth day. Look, the weather up here, the weather overnight was pretty mild. It went down to about 13 degrees with a bit of cloud cover, and today it's going to be in the low teens, so low 20s. So we're hoping that that's sort of some favourable conditions after searching, and more importantly for Gus there. So as we just continue on the search effort today, we've got a lot of resources here. We've got 35 SES. We've got about 20 TAPOL members. We've got horses. We've got water operations unit. We've got pole air, and we've got a number of drones and ATVs just to flood the area. So that's probably where we're at the moment. But yeah, it's still an active search, and we're just hoping for a good outcome.
Yeah, we all are, Mark. Absolutely. How big is the area that you're searching? Are you sort of doing it within the sort of inner area of the property where he first disappeared, where he was last seen?
Yeah, look, the the issue is, and what makes it a bit difficult, is we actually don't know a direction of travel, and that's why we've got boots on the ground. We're doing contact searching all day yesterday and the day before, just to try and find some clues on which direction he might have gone. So that complicates the matter to start with. So as you know, every hour that sort of ticks on, a person can actually keep on walking out of that search area. So we're just trying to just factor that into our search patterns and just making sure that we're not missing anything. But look, the search teams over the last couple of days, they've worked really hard. Like I said, yesterday was a tough day, and they did it without any complaints. They worked over 12 hours just walking, and they all fronting up again. So I can't thank them enough.
A huge contingent of SAPOL, the SES, but Mark, we've also heard of a number of locals and farmers that have joined the search. An incredible effort for those that are just wanting to find this young man.
Look, we really rely on local knowledge and just the local support from the community, and they were well and truly had a footprint in this right from the word go. When Gus went missing, the local station owners around the place, they were aware, and they're out on their motorbikes throughout the night, checking their boundaries and just being part of that search process. The family have been great, and we just leverage off some of their knowledge as well about where they think Gus might have gone, and we're just following up all those leads.
Yeah.
So as of today, we're just continuing on the search for Gus.
Well, Mark, all the very best of luck. We know that SAPOL is leaving absolutely nothing in the tank when it comes to this, and as you said, we hope this is a story that has a good ending. Mark Sears, their SAPOL superintendent, leading the search for little Gus up in Yunta.
An incredible effort by locals. A friend of mine has worked up there on a sheep station and tells of the community of Yunta in that area, because there's nothing out there. There's a small
I've never been there,
stations. No. It's in the middle of nowhere. If you've been driving up to Broken Hill before, you might have driven through it. There's goats, there's sheep, and that's about it. We truly hope that this does have a happy ending. Another story making news today, David, and it comes from the US, is the announcement that the President, Donald Trump, is planning to implement 100% tariffs on films made outside of the US. And, you know, we've heard this threat earlier in the year, but it seems like it's coming to fruition. Kate Crozier is from the SA Film Corporation. She's the CEO. Kate, good morning to you. I guess, what's your immediate reaction to this news?
Oh, look, I think you're right there. We did hear about this about 5 months ago, and we all had a look at the time about what that might look like. At this stage, and back then, it's really unclear how this would actually work. So we don't know who's actually going to be paying the end cost of the tariff. And obviously, the last thing we would want is for that to be passed on to consumers. We want people to be able to consume films at the lowest possible cost. So I think we just got to wait and see until we see more detail, because it's a bit mystifying.
Yeah, well, it is certainly mystifying, Kate. So presumably, let's say Storm Boy was made today.
Yeah.
It wouldn't probably mean that if Storm Boy, filmed in the Coorong starring Greg Rowe, David Goldpill, was screened in LA, that it would cost twice as much to go to see it. But isn't it more the point that if an American company wrote Storm Boy and said, we're actually not going to film it in California, we're going to film it in Adelaide, then that's where the Yanks might fire up.
I think the thing is that we actually don't know. I think from the post, we've seen 2 social media posts, and I think we could say that the interest that Trump seems to have in this is that he would like production to be happening in the US to create jobs and, economic benefits for the United States. And we understand that. I mean, that's why the film industry is such a lucrative and competitive industry globally. But the really challenging thing about this is it is a truly global industry in every way. So, it's complex. I mean, some of our biggest projects that were filmed in South Australia last year or over the last year, if you think about My Brilliant Career, such an Australian story, but it's a Netflix show. So Netflix has fully financed it. They're a US company. Then you've got Bring Her Back, which is, from a couple of Adelaide guys Danny and Michael Filippo has.
Oh, that's the horror movie, isn't it?
Great
That's
movie.
the horror movie.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's huge. It's a global hit. And as was their first film, Talk to Me, and that one is fully financed, almost by A24, US distributor. So you sort of go, where do films like that sit in this? And then you've got our visual effects industry. We have a really strong post-production and visual effects sector here. And lately, we've been doing big films out of Adelaide, films like Sinners and Thunderbolts, Lilo and Stitch.
Well, what would it mean? I can remember. I'm not sure if you were CEO back at the time when Steve Marshall was premier, but around about 2019, Adelaide was involved in Mortal Kombat, weren't we?
Absolutely.
So would it mean that a contract like that would be less likely now to come to South Australia, wouldn't it? If you've got the Trump administration saying, no, we want American films made by Americans.
Yeah.
So the production house might go, well, actually, we're not going to Adelaide now.
I mean, they might, but it's really hard to tell whether that would happen until you see some of the detail of how it will work, because there are, it is a very competitive space in terms of incentives globally for attracting production to be filmed in different territories. So that's why you do see so much American generated content, studio-generated content, being made in Australia and all around the world, is because we've made it attractive for them to do that. Not only the incentives that we offer, which are very minimal, from a state level. The federal government has some significant incentives, up to 30% of your Australian spend can come from the federal government to make a film in Australia. But the other thing that we have here is really developed and sophisticated workforces. So our crew and our visual effects technicians, they are the best in the world here. So you can't just, there's not enough technicians and crew in the US to be able to make all this stuff. So there will still have to be shows that will be made elsewhere, just from a workforce labour supply point of view. And then it's going to be interesting to see if this does come to fruition, which we will wait and see on after last time.
Yeah.
But if it does come to fruition, then we wait and see, well, how is it working and where will the impact be felt? In whose hip pocket?
Yeah, totally.
So that's where we are. We're alert but not alarmed.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we'll wait and see how it pans out in an actual meaningful policy sense. Kate Crozer, the CEO of the SA Film Corporation, thanks for joining us.
David, it is time. It is almost time to give away tickets to Cheese Fest, which means...
Have we got an ad break beforehand?
We certainly do. We've got time for you to make up a cheese.
I've got to write 3 questions.
There's no smoke and mirrors here. Let's check traffic, and we are back with Cheese Fest after this.
Morning there at Torrensville. Delays clearing from an earlier car and track crash, Henley Beach Road near West Street. Penfield still seeing really big delays with that smash on the Northern Expressway. It's near Penfield Road. Those delays are inbound. And Fulham, another collision getting cleared. Tapley's Hill Road near Henley Beach Road. Busy at Fitzroy Terrace, North Adelaide. Slow Brighton Road, Brighton, with a camera Edinburgh Road at Edinburgh. Army yourself to relieve symptoms of cold and flu with Bioceuticals Armour Force. Available at Chemist Warehouse. Chemist Warehouse, great savings every day. Always follow the directions for use. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The Kia Tasman reviews from car expert Irene.
That is ridiculous. Unbelievably good in terms of stopping distance.
But don't believe the experts? Test drive a Tasman today. Tasman, the best ute you've never driven.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Thinking of right-sizing into a lifestyle that's uniquely yours? Keaton is ready when you are. Stay active, make new friends, or simply enjoy some peace and quiet. With a range of flexible options and amenities to make your next chapter your best one yet. Discover a retirement lifestyle full of confidence at one of Keaton's 4 villages across Adelaide and Port Elliot. Visit keaton.com.au to learn more.
These school holidays, head to AFL Max where you can party, play and learn. Inflatables, bouldering, footy fun and more. There's something for everyone. Book your holiday fun now at aflmax.com.au.
Imagine it's a beautiful sunny day. You're standing on a garden of lush green turf. You've got your shoes off so you can feel that grass between your toes. Give them a good scrunch. Really feel your feet sink into the cool, soft grass. That feeling is yours every day when you lay lawn in your garden from the Turf Farm. The turf farm plant it, nurture it, harvest it, deliver it, and importantly, they guarantee it. Trust the Turf Farm. Go to theturffarm.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
11 to 9, good morning to you. Will Goodings having the week off. He'll be back next week. Jonno Edwards in the chair. We've still got time to take your calls on 8223 0000. If you were going to woo Christian Petracca, where would you be taking him? We've got two amazing prices to give away. We've got tickets to the Take Me Home Festival. We've also got tickets to a magnificent Australian-made movie, The Travellers, on Wednesday, the 1st of October. Don't miss The Travellers. Bruce Beresford's heartwarming story featuring an amazing Australian actor in Brian Brown. It's in cinemas October 9.
Love Brian Brown.
Great actor.
Pando.
Yes, definitely.
Two hands.
8223 0000, the number to ring. We're also giving away Cheese Fest tickets. All you have to do is call in and guess what cheese am I. But, David, let's turn to a local story. And this popped up on my social media about an hour ago. It's a cafe down at Camden Park where overnight they had a bit of a visitor, and we've got the footage on the live stream if you're tuning in on Facebook or YouTube. And, well, they've had a guest, and no, she wasn't there picking weeds. She decided to steal some of their plants.
She's arrived equipped as well, going equipped.
Your favourite.
She's got an empty cardboard box with her.
If the police commissioner's listening, David is ready to consult on all things legal going equipped. She's rolled up in her bike and she's collected a few plants and taken them home. Steve Wong is the owner of the 7T7 Cafe at Camden Park. Steve, I'm sure this is not what you were expecting when you rolled up to work this morning.
Yeah, not at all, not at all. I was only setting up the tables out the side decking there, and just noticed the plants, were missing.
So when did you actually put the plants in, Stephen? Were they only planted recently?
Nah, that was about a year ago. So we, that's how long we've been open for.
What a miserably cheap thing for someone to steal. Like, it's hardly the crime of the century, but it's just sort of rude and annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It's more annoying, as you said. That's spot on. It's more annoying than anything else, really. So it's only a plant, but I think I was just trying to, maybe post something like that, but for a bit of awareness more than anything else.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. Mm. Yeah, I can't imagine. Are you going to go to the police about it, or?
Nah, I'm probably there. I went to the
we
police.
can talk to the commissioner about it if you want, but he's probably got other stuff to do at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's fair, mate. I'd rather they must have more important things to do, mate. I won't bother them with it. I think if it's if anything worse than that, then I'll probably get them to help out. But other than that, we'll just more for awareness than anything else.
Hey, mate, we'll give your business a plug. Tell us a little bit about the 7-to-7 Cafe. What's your go-to there?
Oh, buddy, the Vietnamese banh mi rolls.
Oh, yeah.
Beef noodle soups, anything Vietnamese. We do a bit of Thai.
Bit of pho?
Pre-packed bit of pho as well. Oh, you pronounce it perfectly.
Love it. Love it.
Hey?
Do you do a bun bo kueh?
Yeah, that too.
Really?
Mate,
the spicy beef?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We can do that. No dramas. You seem to know a little bit more
love
about
Vietnamese food.
Food and wine show.
Where are you again, mate?
It's 77 Moringi Avenue, Camden Park.
Oh, okay. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, opposite the old Carcelloy factory.
Yeah. Okay, know where you are. Just down Plimpton.
So, so it's a family-owned business. Opened about a year ago, and it's great for the community here and for the businesses around the area.
Yeah, good.
Magnificent.
All right.
Good on you, Stephen. Stephen Wong, the cafe owner of 7T7. What a weird one.
Despite the plant debacle, it sounds like a great place to get in for a nice steaming hot bowl of pho or a banh mi.
I know where
Yum.
you'll be heading later. Hey,
Yeah,
let's
mate.
check the fuel situation. Don't get stuck on the side of the road. Get RAA service. It's better to be a member with RAA service. Cheaper if you're heading down Port Road, $1.59.9 at the Yugo, just near this cafe, the Liberty at Camden Park, $1.65.5. For diesel, The mobile at Torrensville, Henley Beach, $1.69.5. Hey, David, let's give away before Cheese Fest, let's give away our winners for our Christian Petracca. We've been asking where you would take him. Heading to the Take Me Home Festival is Sean from Port Adelaide. The Traveller's Ticket, a magnificent movie. Vinny from Grange. All right, it is time. Let's do it.
Oh, no, not the song. And another thing I've been wondering lately. Oh, baby, would you like some cheese?
Pete from Erindale wants some cheese. He wants tickets to the magnificent Cheese Festival. Pete, are you ready? Let's do it.
Morning. Good
Pete.
morning. That music is distracting.
Yeah, it's not very good.
I love it. It should be nominated for an aria.
I thought that was a one-off. Sadly, they kept the audio file. So I apologise to you and to all the listeners for that. Pete, hey, now, mate, you know the drill. You get 3 clues. Wait till the end. No need to jump in because you're not going head-to-head with anyone else. Here we go. I was invented in the 1850s by Norwegian dairy farmer Anders Larsen Bakker. I am semi-soft and I have a few holes in me. Last clue, I start with the letter J.
Would you be called Jarlsberg?
Jarlsberg? Yes, I would.
Yes, it is.
Well done. Aerosol. That is superb, Pete. You have won the Cheese Fest tickets, and you and a friend.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, good cheese, Jarlsberg, isn't it?
It's yummy.
Yeah, magnificent. You're heading along to Australia's original and biggest cheese festival. It's back, celebrating 20 years, October 18 and 19 at Rundle Park. Get your tickets from cheesefest.com.au. The disappointing is I saw how hard David worked at picking a cheese to try and make it as difficult as possible.
No.
And well, Pete picked it first go. What can you do?
The Norway. It's sort of like name 2 cheeses from Norway. You can't really think of cheese number 2. It's like, I don't know, it's like name 2 songs by the Knack.
No.
Like, can anyone name 2 songs by the Knack? Or the Vapors? Can anyone name 2 songs by the Vapors? There's Turning Japanese, and then there's.
No, I can't sing it.
What's the other one? What's the other one? There's none. There is none more.
We're out of time this morning. But before we do go, let's have a quick look at the police home care text line, which has been absolutely going off this morning, David.
We have had hundreds and hundreds, and we're not making this up. How good is Adelaide? People love losing their minds over silly, fun things like this, and why wouldn't you when you consider the state of the world? We'd much rather talk about how we lure Christian Petracca over the border and carry on like Radio National, spending 3 hours talking about the Middle East. One here, Steve in Trott Park says, I'd take Christian Petracca on the roof climb and say, look, you can have all of this, or pointing in the direction of the Victorian border, you can go back. Why the hell would you want to go back there? I like that, Steve.
I mean, surely we've got the deal done today. Hearing all the magnificent restaurants across South Australia.
Well, let's just wait and see. I think that the ace in our pack is Alex Neil-Bullen, so we'll see how it pans out. But you know, the Gold Coast, though, they've got a good story to tell, a good story to sell for people who want to get out of the limelight. And it's one of the things that historically Sydney traded on as well. You know, players who are just fed up living in the goldfish bowl. And some people have said the giddy enthusiasm, which so many of our listeners and indeed us have shown today, might be the very kind of thing that drives him into the arms of Damien Hardwick. But, you know, we're in here having a crack. The big story locally over the next 48 hours, based on what Tommy Wren was telling us this morning, though, Jonno, will be Tex.
Yeah.
Tex's future. It's been a long time coming, this decision, and clearly he and the club have been thinking a lot of things through. But based on what Rennie was saying in here with us at 6:30, Tom thinks he's sticking around for one more season.
And 7 News last night reported that apparently there's plans for him to play some SANFL games as well, which I was a little bit surprised at, because I would have thought, being Tex, he would want to, go out full hog playing AFL. But
I reckon if you wanted to play SANFL, it'd be wearing the red and blue, not the red, blue and gold.
Well, that would make Rowie happy.
Yeah, make all the Norwood supporters happy as well, but clearly being a Crow, you've got to
so
play
much to play out. Also, the Glenelg coach heading to Port Adelaide, Darren Reeves, something a little bit unexpected. There was a bit of mail that Marty Matner was heading from Sturt, but maybe, I know that's
Get
a
out of here. No way.
Well,
the jaws of life would not extract him
Well,
from
after
Unley.
a premiership win like that and having a few beers with David Penberthy at the AUKUS bar, where else would you want to go? You wouldn't want to leave Sturt at all.
He's a Sturt man.
We're out of time. Have a magnificent day. We'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy your day.
Coming up next on 5AA, the stories that matter.